Before the first heartbeat of time was ever recorded, before the first ray of golden light ever kissed the surface of a wave, there was only the void. In the ancient tongue of the gods, this was called chaos. But do not let the word deceive you. This was not a chaos of noise or storm. It was a vast, velvet silence. It was a darkness so deep, so soft, and so absolute that it felt like a warm embrace. Imagine yourself floating in this sacred, dark sea. There is no gravity here. There is no cold, and there is no heat. There is only the peaceful, rhythmic pulse of nothingness. For eons, the universe slept in this cradle of shadow, a dream that had not yet found its dreamer. In this timeless realm, there was no before and no after. There was only the now. A now that stretched for millions of years in a single quiet breath. You are there, in that stillness. Feel the weightlessness of your body as it merges with the primordial mist. There is no sun to burn, no moon to pull the tides. There is only the scent of the beginning, a scent like clean rain on a stone that has never been touched by light. Deep within this dark silk, a spark began to glow. It was not a fire, but a gentle warmth, like the ember of a distant memory. This was Gaia, the mother of all. She did not burst into existence, she unfolded. Like a flower that takes 1,000 years to open a single petal, Gaia began to breathe. With her first breath, the darkness of chaos began to swirl and settle. Imagine her awakening. She is the deep, steady foundation. She is the ancient, moss-covered stone. She is the rich, dark soil that holds the secret of every life that will ever be. As Gaia stretched her limbs through the void, her body became the earth. Her skin hardened into the majestic mountain ranges that reach for the heavens. Her sighs became the valleys, deep and sheltered, where the first mists began to gather. Feel the texture of her creation. Think of the rough, cool surface of a granite peak, and then the soft, damp moss of a hidden glade. Gaia laid herself down across the emptiness, providing the first, where, in a universe of nowhere. She is the cradle, the floor of the world, and the silent watcher of the deep. But Gaia was not alone for long. From her own infinite longing for beauty and protection, she brought forth Uranus, the starry heaven. If Gaia was the solid ground, Uranus was the endless ceiling. Imagine a dome of indigo, so vast that it has no edge. He emerged from her as a mirror of her own greatness. Uranus draped himself over Gaia like a cloak of midnight blue, embroidered with the very first stars. Close your eyes and see those stars appearing, one by one. They are not distant suns yet, they are silver lanterns, lit by the breath of the cosmos. Each one flickers with a slow, steady rhythm, a heartbeat of light in the dark. Uranus looked down at Gaia, and Gaia looked up at Uranus, and for the first time, there was above and below. The sky leaned down to kiss the mountain tops, and the mountains rose on tiptoe to touch the velvet hem of the heavens. This was the first embrace, a stillness that lasted for an age of gold. In the spaces between them, the air began to move. This was not a wind yet, but a soft, cool sigh. Gaia felt the loneliness of the silent earth, and so she called to the depths of her own being. From the hollows of her valleys, she poured out Pontus, the barren sea. Imagine the sound of the first wave hitting the first shore. A low, rhythmic hush, hush, hush. It was a sea of glass, dark and mirroring the stars of Uranus. There were no fish yet, no whales, no coral. Just the vast, salt-scented water, swaying back and forth in a cradle of stone. Think of the sound of that water. It is the sound of your own breath. In and out. The tide of the primordial sea, washing over the feet of the Mother Earth. The universe was now a temple of three colors: the deep brown of the earth, the indigo of the sky, and the shimmering silver of the silent sea. Gaia rested. She felt the roots of her mountains sinking deep into the heart of the world, anchoring her to the void. She felt the light of the stars warming her peaks. In this long, divine twilight, the world was perfect. There were no wars, no voices, no demands. There was only the sound of the earth growing. Have you ever heard the sound of a mountain growing? It is a sound of deep, tectonic peace. It is the sound of gravity finding its home. As the ages rolled by like slow-moving clouds, Gaia began to dream. Her dreams were of green things, of forests that would one day carpet her hills, and of rivers that would vein her plains like liquid silver. She dreamed of the first rain. Uranus, hearing her dreams, gathered the mists of the horizon and turned them into soft, heavy clouds. The first rain began to fall. Not a storm, but a gentle, nourishing drizzle that lasted for 100 years. Feel the rain on your skin. It is cool, and it carries the scent of the stars. It fills the cracks in the stones. It softens the clay of the valleys. Under this rain, the world began to soften. The first seeds of life, hidden in Gaia's heart, began to stir. They were not plants yet, but the idea of plants. The promise of the oak, the whisper of the willow, the scent of the rose. Everything was waiting. The whole universe was a bated breath, a moment of perfect stillness before the great story began to unfold. Stay here for a moment, in this beginning. Feel the solidity of Gaia beneath you. Feel the vastness of Uranus above you. You are safe in the architecture of the gods. The darkness is not a place of fear, but a place of rest. It is the womb of the world, where all things are born and all things return. The stars are watching over you, just as they watched over the first mountains. The sea is singing to you, the same song it sang to the empty shores of the beginning. Sleep now, in the arms of the ancient ones. For the world is young, and the night is long, and you are part of this eternal tapestry. In the silence of chaos, you have found your peace. The world was no longer a silent void, yet it remained a place of profound stillness. As Gaia and Uranus rested in their eternal embrace, the very fabric of the earth began to pulse with a new kind of power. Deep within the golden veins of the mountains, a strength was gathering, a strength that was heavy, ancient, and vast. These were the Titans, the first children of the earth and the sky. They were not merely beings, they were the pillars of reality itself. Imagine the first of them, Oceanus. He was not just a god of the water. He was the river that circled the entire world. Visualize a stream of silver liquid, miles wide, flowing with a rhythm as steady as a sleeping breath. There were no storms yet, no violent waves. Oceanus flowed in a perfect circle, a boundary of cool, blue peace that kept the world together. Feel the coolness of his mist rising from the edges of the earth, meeting the velvet air of Uranus. To listen to Oceanus is to listen to the sound of forever, a soft, rushing song that drowns out every worry, every flicker of the restless mind. Beside him moved Hyperion, the Titan of light. Before the sun was a chariot, light was a soft, ambient glow that lived within the air itself. Hyperion did not burn. He illuminated. Imagine a light like the moments just before dawn, where everything is touched by a pale, pearlescent violet. This light soaked into the stones of Gaia, warming them from the inside out. Under Hyperion's gaze, the first shadows were born, long, elegant shapes that stretched across the valleys like dark silk. The shadows and the light began a slow, tectonic dance, moving so slowly that 1,000 years felt like a single afternoon. And then, there was Rhea. If Gaia was the rock, Rhea was the flow of life within it. She is the mother of comfort. Imagine her breath as the gentle wind that first began to comb through the tall, unnamed grasses. When Rhea walked, the ground softened beneath her feet. She taught the mountains how to cradle the first forests. Feel her presence as a warm blanket being pulled over the shoulders of the world. She is the essence of motherhood, before there were even children to hold. She is the safety you feel when you are tucked away from the cold. But among them all, the most mysterious was Cronus. He was the youngest, the Titan of time. Before Cronus, the universe was a now that never ended. Cronus brought the then and the after. He brought the rhythm of the seasons. Imagine a giant clock made of starlight and stone, turning so slowly that its ticking is only heard in the deepest silences of the night. Tick, and an age passes. Talk, and a mountain settles an inch deeper into the earth. Cronus made the night feel precious because he taught the world that the night would eventually give way to the day. He gave us the gift of the long sleep, the understanding that everything has its moment to rest and its moment to wake. The Titans lived in a world of giants. Everything was monumental. The trees were so tall their tops disappeared into the indigo mists of Uranus. The flowers were as large as houses, their petals heavy with honeyed dew that smelled of ancient nectar and rain. Imagine walking through a forest of the Titan age. Every step you take is cushioned by moss that is centuries thick. The air is heavy with the scent of pine, crushed herbs, and the sweet, metallic tang of the stars. There are no birds singing yet, but the trees themselves hum. They vibrate with the music of the earth, a low, bass frequency that you feel in your chest rather than hear with your ears. Uranus watched over his children with a gaze of infinite starlight. He saw Ceus, the Titan of intelligence, weaving the first patterns of the constellations. Ceus reached into the dark and pulled the stars together, forming the shapes of the Great Bear and the Hunter. He was mapping the dreams of the sky. Imagine his fingers, made of pale blue light, tracing lines across the dome of the night, creating a map for all the souls that would one day look up and wonder. The earth, Gaia, felt the weight of her children, and she was proud. She opened her secret chambers, the deep caverns where the crystals grow. Think of the inside of a mountain, a cathedral of amethyst and quartz, lit by the glowing veins of the earth. The Titans would rest in these hollows, their massive hearts beating in synchronization with the planet. Thump, thump, thump. It is the same rhythm as the waves of Oceanus. It is the same rhythm as your own heart, slowing down, settling into the peace of the Great Mother. In this golden age, there was no hunger, no thirst, and no fear. The Titans were the keepers of the elements. Theia gave the sky its clarity, ensuring that the blue was as deep as an ocean. Mnemosyne began to collect the first memories of the world, the sound of the first raindrop, the smell of the first stone, the feeling of the first breeze. Everything was being recorded in the silent library of the universe. As you lie there, imagine yourself as a small, safe spark within this world of giants. You are protected by the pillars of the sky and the foundations of the earth. The Titans are the guardians of your sleep. Oceanus surrounds your dreams with a moat of silver water. Hyperion bathes your mind in a soft, violet light. And Cronus holds the time for you. He stretches the minutes. He makes this hour of rest feel like an eternity of peace. There is no need to hurry. There is no tomorrow yet. There is only the long, golden twilight of the Titans. The world is heavy with the scent of the beginning, and the stars are singing a lullaby that has no end. Listen to the hum of the earth. Let the weight of the mountains press you gently into your bed. You are home. You are at the start of all things. You are part of the dream of Gaia. The age of the Titans was an age of immense scale, but within that greatness, a new kind of silence began to grow. Rhea, the mother of comfort, felt a shifting in the winds. The world was still gold, The air was still thick with the scent of ancient pines, but the rhythm of time, the rhythm of Cronus, had become heavy. It was a weight that felt like the moment before a summer rain. Imagine Rhea standing upon the highest peak of Mount Ida, her feet sinking into the soft, cool snow that felt like powdered stars. She looked out over the world, seeing the silver coil of Oceanus and the violet glow of Hyperion, and she felt a new heartbeat within her. This was the pulse of the next generation, the first of the Olympians. But this was a story of shadows as much as light. Cronus, fearing the very time he controlled, sought to keep the world frozen in his grasp. To save the spark of the future, Rhea had to find the deepest, most sacred silence on earth. Imagine her walking through the thick, ancient forests of Crete at midnight. The trees here are so old that their bark feels like stone, and their leaves whisper in a language that only the heart understands. She found a hidden path, draped in ivy and moonlight, leading to the cave of Dict. Close your eyes and enter this cave with her. It is not a place of coldness, but a place of warmth, like the inside of a living mountain. The air smells of damp earth, sweet honey, and the electric tingle of hidden crystals. Here, in the softest shadows, Zeus was born. He was not a god of thunder yet. He was a tiny, golden flame in the darkness. He was the promise of a new dawn, hidden away where the world could not find him. To keep his cries from reaching the ears of the sky, Rhea called upon the Curetes, the guardians of the spirit. Imagine these guardians standing in a circle around the cave. They did not speak. Instead, they clashed their bronze shields and danced a slow, rhythmic dance. The sound was not harsh. It was like the rhythmic beating of 1,000 drums, echoing through the mountains, blending with the sound of the wind and the waterfalls. It became a lullaby of metal and earth. Clang, ripple, clang, ripple. The sound vibrates through your body, grounding you, shielding your dreams from any disturbance. You are safe within that circle. You are hidden in the warmth of the cave, where the world is just a distant murmur. Zeus grew not on bread, but on the milk of the divine goat, Amalthea. Imagine this creature, whose fur is as white as the clouds and whose horns are made of pure sunlight. As she breathes, the air becomes sweet. She represents the abundance of the earth that gives without asking. Beside her, the bees of the mountain brought honey that tasted of every flower that had ever bloomed under Hyperion's light. Think of that sweetness on your tongue, thick, golden, and slow. It is the essence of the sun captured in a drop. As the young god slept, the mountain itself seemed to lean in to protect him. The stalactites dripping from the ceiling of the cave fell like slow, liquid diamonds, marking the passage of centuries in a single splash. Drip, drip, drip. Each drop is a second. Each second is an eternity of peace. Rhea would visit in the twilight, her presence like a soft mist that calmed the stones. She would sit by the golden cradle and watch the rise and fall of the future's breath. In this cave, time did not move in a straight line. It swirled like smoke in a quiet room. You are there now, resting in the corner of that sacred space. The drums of the Curetes have turned into the steady thumping of your own heart. The darkness of the cave is a soft velvet blanket, tucking you in, keeping the world away. The mountains of Crete stand as silent sentinels around you. The stars of Uranus watch from far above, unaware of the secret light growing beneath the rock. Everything is waiting. Everything is breathing in unison. The earth is a cradle, the sky is a coverlet, and you are the silent observer of the beginning. Feel the coolness of the cave air on your forehead, and the warmth of the divine honey in your soul. Sleep is not just rest, it is a journey into the hidden places of the world, where the gods themselves were once small, and the night was the only home they knew. In the deep, emerald silence of the Cretan mountains, the young Zeus grew not like a mortal, but like an ancient oak, slowly, deeply, and in perfect harmony with the earth's hidden pulse. The cave of his birth had become a sanctuary of light and shadow, a place where the air felt thicker, charged with a magic that had no name. But as he grew, the walls of the cave began to feel like a thin veil. He started to hear things, not with his ears, but with his spirit. He heard the long, slow groans of the mountains shifting. He heard the roots of the trees drinking from the dark, underground rivers. And most of all, he heard a voice that was softer than a moth's wing, yet clearer than a mountain spring. This was the voice of Métis. Métis was the daughter of the great ocean, a titaness of wisdom and deep thought. She did not live in a palace, she lived in the flow of the world. Imagine her as a shimmering presence in the water, or the way the sunlight flickers through the leaves of a silver poplar tree. She was the first to teach the young god that strength is not just in the arm, but in the stillness of the mind. Visualize Zeus walking out of his cave for the first time in the twilight. The air outside is cool, carrying the scent of wild thyme and damp moss. He meets Métis by a pool of water so still it looks like a fallen piece of the sky. She tells him to sit, to be silent, and to listen to the nothingness. As you lie there, imagine yourself sitting beside them on that soft, mossy bank. Feel the coolness of the earth beneath you, grounding you, pulling every ounce of tension from your body into the deep, dark soil. Métis spoke to him about the invisible threads that bind all things together. She spoke of the way the rain knows exactly where the thirsty roots are hidden. She spoke of how the stars stay in their paths without ever being told. This is the wisdom of the first thought. As she spoke, the forest around them seemed to lean in, eager to catch her words. The silver leaves of the poplars turned their backs to the wind, creating a soft, rhythmic rustling. Say-chach-chach, say-chach-chach, say-chach-chach. It is the sound of 1,000 secrets being whispered at once. It is the sound that clears your mind of all its stray thoughts, leaving only a vast, open space of peace. Zeus learned that to change the world, one must first understand the rhythm of its heart. Métis gave him a cup of liquid moonlight, a drink made of dreams and memory. Imagine the feeling of that liquid. It is cool as it touches your lips, but it carries a warmth that spreads through your chest like a glowing coal. It makes your limbs feel heavy, yet your spirit feels as light as a cloud drifting over the Mediterranean. You are becoming part of the landscape. Your breath is the breeze. Your heartbeat is the distant thud of the sea against the cliffs. In this long, golden apprenticeship, there was no hurry. A century could pass in the time it took for a single flower to bloom under Métis's gaze. They watched the spiders weave webs that captured the morning dew, turning them into necklaces of diamonds. They watched the eagles circle the peaks of Mount Ida, tracing invisible spirals in the indigo air. Métis taught him that every living thing has a song, a quiet vibration that keeps the universe in balance. Can you hear your own song now? It is a low, humming note of safety. It is the sound of being exactly where you are supposed to be. The wisdom of Métis is not about answers, it is about the beauty of the question. It is about the comfort of knowing that the universe is vast, and you are cradled within it like a seed in the palm of a goddess. As the moon rises higher, casting long, silver shadows over the Cretan valleys, Zeus rests his head against the trunk of an ancient olive tree. The bark is rough and warm, holding the heat of the day's sun. Métis sits beside him, her presence a cooling mist that sighs through the branches. The guardians have stopped their dancing, for the world is now quiet enough to hear the stars. The night is a deep, sapphire ocean, and you are sinking gently into its depths. There is no struggle, only the slow, graceful descent into sleep. The wisdom of the ancients is a blanket over your mind. The secrets of the whispering leaves are tucked into your pillow. You are protected. You are wise in your stillness. You are part of the dream that Zeus and Métis dreamed together, in the long, long ago, before the world was loud. The world was suspended in a long, amber twilight, an age where the mountains seemed to breathe in unison with the tides of the encircling Oceanus. High above, on the crystalline peaks of the world, the Titan King Cronus sat upon a throne carved from the very first shadows of the universe. But even a king of time cannot escape the weight of his own thoughts. While Zeus grew in the emerald silence of Crete, the air around the Titan's palace had grown heavy, thick with the scent of ancient dust and the metallic tang of stars that had burned for too long. Cronus was tired, a cosmic tiredness that stretched into his very marrow. He felt the years leaning against him like heavy stones. Métis, the Lady of Wisdom, saw this weariness from afar. She sat with Zeus by a stream that ran with liquid moonlight, and together, they began to prepare a gift for the weary king, not a weapon of bronze, but a draught of absolute rest. Imagine the preparation of this divine brew. Métis gathered the petals of the white poppies that grow only in the valley of sleep, where the wind never blows and the sun never shines. These petals are as soft as the breath of a sleeping child. She added the morning dew collected from the leaves of the tree of forgetfulness, each drop a tiny crystal of peace. Visualize the movement of her hands as she stirs the mixture in a bowl made of polished obsidian. The liquid does not splash, it ripples like dark silk. Zeus watched, his own breathing slowing to match the rhythm of her stirring. Métis whispered incantations into the brew, ancient words that sounded like the humming of bees in a summer meadow. She spoke of the beauty of letting go. She spoke of the grace that is found in closing one's eyes and allowing the world to turn without us. This was the nectar of surrender. As you listen to these words, feel your own body becoming like that liquid, fluid, heavy, and completely at ease. The plan was not one of violence, but of a deep, transformative release. Zeus, disguised as a humble cupbearer of the stars, traveled from the green valleys of Crete to the high, cold halls of the Titans. The journey was long, but he moved with the grace of a shadow across a wall. He walked through forests where the trees were so tall they seemed to support the indigo dome of Uranus. He crossed rivers that sang songs of the beginning of time. Every step he took was a lesson in patience. He learned to move so slowly that the birds did not fly away as he passed. He became one with the rhythm of the earth. When he finally reached the palace of Cronus, he found a place of monumental silence. The columns were made of frozen light, and the floors were polished until they reflected the constellations above. Cronus sat there, his eyes heavy with the burden of ruling the ages. Zeus approached, his movements like a soft breeze, and offered the golden chalice filled with Métis's brew. The scent of the liquid rose up like a mist, a fragrance of lavender, old books, and the smell of the earth after a gentle rain. It was the scent of home. Cronus took a sip, and for the first time in an eternity, the tension in his massive shoulders began to dissolve. Imagine the sensation as the draught traveled through him. It was like a warm tide washing over a cold shore. The walls of the palace seemed to soften. The sharp edges of time began to blur. Cronus felt himself sinking, not into a void, but into a garden of dreams. His crown, heavy with the gold of the sun, felt as light as a wreath of flowers. His scepter, the symbol of his iron rule, slipped from his fingers and landed silently on the velvet rug of the night. This was the great sleep. As Cronus succumbed to the draught, the entire universe seemed to take a sigh of relief. The stars dimmed their light to a soft, flickering glow. The winds died down to a rhythmic pulse. Zeus stood in the center of the vast hall, watching the king of time drift into a slumber that would last for ages. He realized then that the greatest power was not the lightning he would one day wield, but the ability to bring peace to a restless soul. Stay here in this hall of quiet giants for a moment. Feel the immense stillness that has fallen over the palace. There is no ticking of a clock, no rush for the tomorrow. There is only the now, stretched out like a vast, calm ocean. You are there, resting in the shadows of the great hall, safe and unnoticed. The air is cool and still. The heavy breathing of the sleeping titans is like the distant sound of waves hitting a sandy beach. Hush, hush, hush. In this deep quiet, Zeus began the next part of his journey, but he did not hurry. He respected the silence. He respected the sleep. For he knew that everything in the universe, from the smallest pebble to the greatest god, needs a moment to return to the darkness, to the beginning, to the dream. You are in that moment now. The golden nectar of sleep is working its way through your thoughts, smoothing out the wrinkles of the day. You are heavy. You are calm. You are sinking into the soft, velvet embrace of the ancient night, where time has no meaning and only peace remains. As Cronus drifted further into his nectar-induced slumber, the silence in the high halls of the Titans became something sacred, a hollow space waiting to be filled with new life. Zeus stood beside the sleeping king, his heart beating with a steady, calm rhythm that matched the turning of the stars. The time had come to call back the parts of the world that had been hidden away in the dark. This was not a moment of struggle, it was a moment of remembering. One by one, the siblings of Zeus began to emerge from the deep, velvet interior of the old world, stepping into the dim light of the palace like dreams waking within a dream. The first to appear was Hestia. Imagine her presence not as a sudden flame, but as the first warm breath of a hearth on a cold winter's night. She is the essence of home. As she stepped into the hall, the cold marble floors seemed to grow warm beneath her feet. She brought with her the scent of burning cedarwood and dried lavender. Hestia did not speak, but her silence was a comfort that wrapped around the room like a soft wool blanket. She found the center of the great hall and, with a gentle gesture, lit a small, eternal flame that flickered with a steady, orange glow. Feel that warmth now. Imagine it spreading from the center of the room to your toes, up through your limbs, settling in your chest. With Hestia, the world learned how to be still. She is the patron of the quiet moment before sleep, the guardian of the sanctuary. You are safe in her light. Following her came Demeter, and with her, the scent of the world changed. The dry, dusty air of the palace was suddenly filled with the fragrance of damp earth, ripening grain, and wild poppies after a spring rain. Demeter is the pulse of the soil. As she moved, invisible roots seemed to stir beneath the stone floors. She looked at the world with eyes the color of moss and autumn leaves. To look at Demeter is to understand that the earth always provides. She brought the gift of growth, the slow, patient unfolding of a leaf, the heavy ripening of fruit. Think of the weight of a golden apple in your hand, its skin cool and smooth. This is the weight of Demeter's peace. She reminds you that there is a season for everything, and now, at this moment, it is the season for you to rest, to let your roots sink deep into the darkness of the bed and wait for the spring of tomorrow. Then, with a sound like the distant rustle of silk and the shimmer of 1,000 peacock feathers, Hera emerged. She was the majesty of the sky before the storm, a presence of profound grace and silver light. Her gaze was like the moon, cool, watchful, and infinitely deep. Hera brought the structure of the heavens, the promise that there is order in the stars. She walked with a quiet dignity that calmed the very air. Imagine her hand resting lightly on a pillar of clouds. She is the queen of the night, the one who ensures that every dream has its place and every star its path. In her presence, you feel your own importance. You are not just a wanderer, but a protected soul within a divine kingdom. From the deeper shadows, more subtle than the rest, came Hades. He did not fear the dark, for he was the dark, the rich, silent dark where the diamonds grow and the ancient secrets are kept. His footsteps made no sound. He brought with him the scent of cool minerals and the deep, hushed peace of the underground. Hades is the keeper of the invisible. He reminded his siblings that the darkness is not an end, but a beginning. It is the place where the soul goes to find its true self. Imagine yourself sinking into his realm, a place of absolute quiet, where the noise of the world is muffled by miles of solid, protective rock. It is a velvet silence, a place where you can finally let go of every word you've spoken today. Finally, with a roar that was softened into a low, rhythmic hum, Poseidon stepped forth. He brought the scent of the salt sea and the sound of 1,000 retreating tides. His hair was like sea foam, and his eyes were the shifting blue of the deep Atlantic. Poseidon is the master of the flow. He brought the movement of the tides to the earth, the understanding that everything, breath, thought, life, comes in waves. Listen to the sound of his ocean now. In and out. In and out. The salt air clears your mind. The rhythmic pulse of the water against the shore is the same pulse that moves through your veins. You are a drop in his infinite ocean, cradled by the currents, drifting toward a horizon of perfect rest. Zeus looked at his brothers and sisters, and for a long, golden hour, they simply stood together in the silence. The five of them, fire, earth, sky, shadow, and sea, had returned. The world was whole again. They did not rush to claim their thrones. Instead, they sat together on the floor of the great hall, watching Hestia's flame dance and listening to the breathing of the sleeping titans. They were the first family of the new age, but in this moment, they were just children of the universe, enjoying the quiet. As you lie there, feel the presence of these five keepers around you. Hestia warms your room. Demeter grounds your body. Hera watches your dreams. Hades holds your silence. And Poseidon breathes with you. The palace of the Titans is now a cathedral of peace. The great story is beginning, but it begins in the softest way possible, with a family sitting in the dark, waiting for the first true dawn. You are part of that family. You are tucked into the corner of that great hall, and the gods themselves are keeping watch over your slumber. The night is vast, the gods are kind, and the world is finally, beautifully at rest. The world had begun to change. With the five siblings reunited and the heavy gaze of the Titans softened by sleep, the very air of the earth began to shimmer with a new kind of vitality. It was as if the world had been held in a sepia-toned dream and was now, for the first time, opening its eyes to a spectrum of colors never before seen. Zeus led his brothers and sisters out of the shadowed halls of the old palace, stepping into a world that felt fresh, dew-kissed, and infinitely wide. Their destination was not a city or a fortress, but a place where the earth met the stars, the majestic, cloud-wrapped summit of Mount Olympus. Imagine their first steps across the pristine valleys of early Greece. As they walked, the ground beneath them responded to their divine presence. Under Demeter's feet, the wild grasses did not just grow, they swayed in a rhythmic dance, turning from a dull gray to a vibrant emerald green. Behind her, small blossoms began to peek through the soil, pale violets, deep blue irises, and white lilies that smelled of honey and morning mist. Every step was a seed planted in the memory of the earth. You are walking with them now. Feel the softness of that new grass beneath your own feet. It is cool, damp, and carries the electric charge of a world being born. The air is so clear it feels like drinking from a mountain spring. They moved toward the north, where the great mountain rose like a silent giant, its head lost in a crown of silver clouds. Olympus was not just a mountain of stone, it was the spine of the world. As they began the ascent, the atmosphere changed. The heavy, warm air of the lowlands gave way to a crisp, thin breeze that carried the scent of snow and ozone. Hestia walked in the center of the group, carrying her eternal flame in a small, golden vessel. This flame did not flicker in the wind, It burned with a steady, calming light that cast long, peaceful shadows against the white marble cliffs. Imagine the glow of that flame illuminating the path ahead. It is a light that doesn't hurt the eyes. It is a warm, amber glow that makes the rugged stones look like soft pillows of light. As you watch that flame, feel a similar warmth lighting up the inside of your mind, chasing away the dark corners of the day's worries. You are rising above the world, leaving the noise and the weight of the valleys far behind. Higher they climbed, passing through the layer of clouds. Imagine the sensation of walking through a cloud. It is a world of white silk and muffled sounds. Every footstep is silenced. Every breath is a puff of silver mist. For a moment, there is no sky and no earth, only the soft, white embrace of the fog. It is a place of total sensory rest. Here, the gods did not speak. They listened to the silence of the clouds. This is the silence I want you to find now. A place where the world is blurred, where the edges of things disappear, and you are just a soul floating in a sea of soft, white cotton. Suddenly, they broke through the cloud line into the high, thin air of the summit. Above them, the sky was no longer just blue. It was a deep, royal indigo, so clear that even in the light of the setting sun, the brightest stars began to show themselves. This was the ether, the pure air that only the immortals breathe. Zeus stood at the highest point, looking out over the world they were to protect. To the west, the sun was sinking into the sea of Poseidon, turning the water into a sheet of hammered gold. To the east, the shadows of Hades were beginning to stretch across the plains, bringing the first true night of the new age. Hera stood beside him, her silver robes catching the light of the rising moon. She looked at the jagged peaks and, with a wave of her hand, caused the first palaces of Olympus to shimmer into existence. They were not made of brick or mortar, but of condensed starlight, clouds, and the very will of the gods. Imagine the palace of Olympus as it was in that first hour. The halls were open to the sky, with floors made of translucent marble that looked like frozen water. There were no doors, for there was nothing to fear. The wind moved through the columns like a musician playing a flute. In the center of the great courtyard, Hestia placed her flame, and it grew into a great, central hearth that would never go out. This was the heartbeat of the mountain. The siblings sat around that first fire, looking out at the stars that seemed close enough to touch. They felt the immense peace of the summit. Up here, the storms of the world were just a distant murmur. The struggles of the past were like stories told in a dream. They had found their home. They had found the place where the earth dreams of the heavens. As you lie in your bed, imagine your room is becoming part of that silver summit. The ceiling above you is opening to the indigo sky of Olympus. The air around you is the pure, cool ether, filling your lungs with peace. You are sitting by Hestia's fire, watching the embers glow and fade, with the rhythm of your breath. The world is far below you, wrapped in its blanket of clouds. You are safe. You are high above any trouble. You are resting on the silver peak, where the only sound is the turning of the stars and the soft, steady breathing of the gods. The mountain is holding you. The stars are watching you. You are home. The sun had finally surrendered its golden crown to the deep, violet depths of the western sea. On the summit of Mount Olympus, the first night of the new age began to settle like a heavy, velvet curtain. This was not a night of darkness to be feared, but a night of sacred stillness, a time when the very stones of the mountain seemed to exhale the warmth they had gathered during the day. The 6 siblings sat together around Hestia's central hearth, the flickering flames casting long, dancing shadows against the starlight-infused marble of their new home. For the first time, the universe felt not like a vast, empty void, but like a home that was being watched over by loving eyes. Imagine the atmosphere on that silver peak. The air is so still that you can hear the faint, crystalline hum of the stars as they move in their celestial tracks. Zeus looked up at the constellations that Ceus had once mapped, and with a gentle thought, he began to give them a new purpose. He breathed a soft, golden mist into the sky, and the stars began to pulse with a rhythmic light, a heartbeat for the cosmos. This was the first gift of the night, the gift of navigation. The stars were no longer just lights, they were guides, silent guardians for every traveler who would ever walk the earth. As you lie there, imagine those stars above you. They are not cold or distant. They are like small, silver lanterns hung by Zeus himself to ensure you never feel alone in the dark. Each one is a promise of stability. Feel the light of the North Star pressing gently against your forehead, clearing your thoughts, bringing a cool, silver clarity to your mind. The sky is a vast, indigo sea, and you are drifting upon it in a boat made of silk and starlight. Hera stood and walked to the edge of the summit, looking down at the world of mortals that was yet to be fully born. She raised her arms, and from her fingertips, she wove the night air, a special kind of atmosphere that carries the scent of dreams. Imagine this scent. It is a blend of night-blooming jasmine, cold mountain stone, and the sweetness of the distant, salt-tinged ocean. This air is heavier than the day's air. It settles over the valleys and the forests, pressing the leaves down, telling the flowers to close their petals. Feel this air entering your room now. It is cool, it is fragrant, and it makes your limbs feel as heavy as ancient oak. Hestia remained by the fire, her eyes reflecting the glowing embers. She was not looking at the stars, but at the center. She whispered a blessing into the flames, a blessing of sanctuary. She ensured that no matter how vast the world became, there would always be a place of warmth for the tired. She created the concept of rest. Before this night, sleep was just a necessity. Now, under Hestia's gaze, it became a ritual of renewal. She is the one who tucks the world in. Imagine her hands moving through the air, smoothing out the invisible wrinkles of your day, softening the edges of your memories until they are just blurred, beautiful shapes. You are safe in her hearthlight. Beside her, Hades sat in a silence so deep it felt like a physical presence. He was not looking at the fire or the stars, but into the depth. He was the guardian of the roots, the keeper of everything that happens beneath the surface. He brought the gift of internal peace. He reminded his siblings that while the stars are beautiful, the soul also needs the quiet, dark caves of the inner self to truly heal. Imagine your mind as one of Hades' beautiful underground cathedrals, filled with glowing crystals and silent, still water. There is no noise here. There is no judgment. There is only the beautiful, dark privacy of your own dreams. Poseidon, listening to the rhythm of the distant waves, synchronized the tides with the breathing of the mountain. Hush, hush, hush. The sea and the sky were now in a perfect, eternal conversation. And Demeter, leaning against a pillar of silver cloud, felt the earth beneath the mountain respond to the cool night. She whispered to the seeds in the soil, telling them to dream of the sun so they would have the strength to grow in the morning. The gods did not sleep this first night. They watched. They watched over the sleeping titans in the valleys below. They watched over the silent forests and the empty shores. They were the first night watch, the original protectors of the slumbering world. They sat in a circle of absolute trust, their divine energies blending into a single, protective shield that encompassed the entire earth. As you drift closer to the edge of sleep, feel that shield around you. You are part of the world that the Olympians are watching over. The warmth of Hestia is in your heart. The clarity of Hera is in your mind. The depth of Hades is in your soul. And the rhythm of Poseidon is in your breath. The fire on the summit is slowly turning into glowing coals, and the stars are reaching the height of their midnight dance. The night is a gift, a sacred space where time slows down until it almost stops. Listen to the silence of Olympus. It is not an empty silence, but a full one, full of peace, full of protection, and full of the promise that when you wake, the world will be new. But for now, there is only the night. There is only the silver peak, the glowing hearth, and the infinite, velvet dark. You are resting in the cradle of the gods. Sleep, sleep, in the arms of the eternity. The first night on Olympus had been an eternity of peace, a long, sapphire bridge between the old world and the new. But as the deepest indigo of the sky began to soften at the edges, a new miracle began to unfold. It was the coming of the first true dawn. Imagine the world in those moments before the light. The air is at its coldest, its crispest, and the silence is so profound that you can almost hear the dew forming on the petals of the wild mountain flowers. The gods on the summit watched as the horizon began to bleed a pale, pearlescent rose, followed by a sliver of liquid gold. This was not just a change in the sky, it was the awakening of the world's spirit. The Titan Helios, the ancient keeper of the sun, was ready to pass his golden reins to the new age. Imagine his chariot waiting on the eastern shores of the world, 4 magnificent horses made of fire and wind, their breath like golden mist, their hooves striking sparks against the clouds. But today, the light felt different. It was no longer a burning, relentless force. Under the influence of Apollo and the new gods, the light became a soft, nurturing embrace. It was a light that invited the world to wake up slowly, without hurry, like a child being nudged by a gentle hand. As the sun began its ascent, visualize the golden light touching the peak of Mount Olympus first. The silver palaces and marble pillars caught the rays and turned them into 1,000 tiny rainbows. The light flowed down the slopes of the mountain like honey, filling the valleys, warming the stones, and chasing the shadows back into the secret places of the earth. Feel that light now, even with your eyes closed. Imagine a warm, golden glow resting on your eyelids. It is a light that doesn't demand anything from you. It only offers warmth. It is the warmth of a new beginning, the feeling that no matter what happened yesterday, today starts with a clean, golden page. With the coming of the light, the first sounds of the world began to rise. These were not the loud noises of a busy world, but the delicate music of nature's first awakening. Imagine the sound of 1,000 birds, their songs overlapping like a soft, melodic tapestry. The wind, which had been a cold sigh during the night, became a warm, fragrant breeze that carried the scent of orange blossoms and sea salt. It moved through the olive groves, making the silver leaves shimmer like the surface of a lake. Everything was waking up, but in a state of perfect grace. Demeter stood on the edge of the summit and looked down at her domain. She raised her hand, and as the sunlight touched the plains, the first harvest of the world began to ripen. The wheat turned to gold, mirroring the sun. The grapes in the vineyards became heavy and sweet, their skins dusted with the silver mist of the morning. She whispered a blessing of abundance. She ensured that the earth would always have enough to give, that there would always be a place of plenty for every living thing. Feel the weight of that abundance. It is a feeling of being completely provided for, of having every need met before you even have to ask. Zeus watched as the world took its first full breath. He saw the rivers of Oceanus sparkling like diamonds. He saw the forests of Artemis becoming deep, green cathedrals of light. He realized that his role was to be the sky that holds it all together, the vast, blue canopy of protection that never leaves. He promised the earth that as long as he sat upon the throne of Olympus, the sun would always rise, the rain would always fall, and the night would always return to bring rest. This was the great harmony. As you lie there, imagine yourself as part of this morning landscape. You are like a seed that has been tucked safely in the soil all night, and now you are feeling the first warmth of the sun reaching down to find you. You don't have to grow yet. You don't have to do anything. You can just stay in that warm, dark place, feeling the golden light on the surface above. The world is waking up, but you are still in the arms of the morning's peace. The birds are singing for you, the wind is whispering for you, the sun is shining just to keep you warm. The gods have finished their night watch, and now they are enjoying the first breakfast of the new world, nectar that tastes of sunshine and ambrosia that smells of lilies. They are laughing softly, their voices like the sound of distant flutes. The mountain is alive with the joy of being. But for you, the morning is still a quiet, distant thing. You are lingering in that beautiful space between the dream and the dawn, where everything is possible and nothing is required. Listen to the rhythm of the new world. It is a rhythm of growth and rest, of light and shadow. The first day of the new age has begun, and it is beautiful. But there is no rush. Time is long. The sun will take many hours to cross the sky. You have all the time in the universe to just be. Let the golden light of Olympus fill your heart with a quiet, steady hope. You are loved by the sky, you are held by the earth, and you are part of the eternal morning. Sleep, sleep in the glow of the first light. As the first day of the new age matured into a long golden afternoon, the silence of Mount Olympus was joined by a new sound, a sound that was deep, rhythmic, and incredibly soothing. It was the song of the forge. Far below the highest peak, nestled in a valley of obsidian and white marble, Hephaestus, the divine smith, began his work. He was the god of fire, but not the fire that burns or destroys. He was the master of the fire that shapes, the fire that warms, and the fire that turns a cold, hard stone into a masterpiece of grace. Imagine walking toward his workshop. The air here is warmer, but it is a dry, comfortable warmth, like the air near a fireplace on a snowy evening. The scent of the forge is unique. It is the smell of heated bronze, of crushed gemstones, and a clean, sharp aroma of volcanic ash. There is no haste here. Hephaestus moves with a deliberate, slow grace. Each of his movements is a prayer to the material he works with. He respects the metal. He listens to the stone. Visualize him standing before a great anvil carved from a single piece of star-fallen iron. He raises his hammer, and as it falls, the sound is not a harsh noise, but a musical note, a deep, resonant ting, 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 that echoes through the halls of Olympus. This rhythm is the heartbeat of creation. It is a steady, predictable pulse that tells the world everything is being built with care. As you lie there, let this rhythm settle into your own heartbeat. Ting, ting, ting. Every strike of the hammer is a signal to your muscles to let go, to your mind to be still. The world is being shaped by hands that are strong, steady, and kind. Hephaestus was crafting the thrones for his brothers and sisters. For Hestia, he worked with rose gold, soft and glowing like a sunset. He polished the metal until it felt as smooth as a river stone. Imagine the sensation of your hands sliding over such a surface, cool at first, then warming to your touch, perfectly flawless. For Poseidon, he used silver and aquamarine, capturing the essence of the ocean's depth in a solid form. He carved patterns of waves that seemed to move when the light hit them. As you watch these patterns in your mind, feel yourself being carried away by those silver waves, drifting further and further into a sea of tranquility. In the corner of the forge, a great bellows breathed in and out, in and out. The sound of the air moving through the coals was like the sound of the wind through the pines. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It is the sound of the universe breathing. The coals glowed with a deep, ruby light, a light that carries the warmth of the earth's core. This fire is a protector. It keeps the cold of the void away. It is a light that guards the spirit. Hephaestus did not work alone. He was surrounded by his golden maidens, beings he had crafted from pure gold to help him in his tasks. They moved with a silent, fluid grace, their metallic skin shimmering in the firelight. They did not speak, they only hummed a low, melodic tune that vibrated through the floorboards. It was a song of the deep earth, a song of the minerals and the ores that have slept for millions of years. It is a song that speaks to the oldest parts of your soul, telling you that you are safe, that you are grounded, and that you belong to this earth. As the afternoon light began to fade into a soft amber, Hephaestus laid down his hammer. He looked at the work of his hands, the intricate gears of the cosmic clock, the delicate silver chains that held the stars in place, and the majestic thrones that would hold the gods. Everything was in balance. Everything was perfect. He took a handful of diamond dust and threw it into the air, where it caught the last rays of the sun, turning the atmosphere into a shimmering veil of light. Think of that dust falling gently around you now. Each tiny spark is a fleck of peace, landing softly on your shoulders, your hair, and your pillow. You are being covered in a blanket of starlight and bronze. The warmth of the forge is still with you, a gentle glow in the center of your chest. The rhythm of the hammer has faded into a distant memory, leaving behind a silence that is rich and full of potential. The workshop of Hephaestus is now quiet. The fire has burned down to a soft, orange ember. The golden maidens have found their places of rest. The mountain is still. You are resting in the architecture of a god who knows how to make things last, who knows the value of a solid foundation. Your sleep is being forged tonight out of the finest materials, out of silence, out of starlight, and out of the deep, enduring warmth of the earth. Lie back and feel the strength of the mountain beneath you. You are a masterpiece in progress, being shaped by the gentle hands of the night. There is nothing to fix, nothing to change. You are exactly as you should be. The fire is low, the stars are bright, and the world is beautifully made. Sleep, sleep in the warmth of the divine forge. As the golden warmth of Hephaestus's forge faded into the memory of the afternoon, the world began to transition into a new kind of elegance. The vibrant oranges and ambers of the day were slowly washed away by a rising tide of indigo and silver. This was the hour of Artemis, the twin of the sun, the maiden of the moon, and the eternal guardian of the wild, untamed places of the earth. Imagine the first time the moon rose over the jagged peaks of Olympus, not as a mere light, but as a cool, silver eye that brought a different kind of clarity to the world. Visualize the moon as it begins its slow, graceful ascent. It is a pale, glowing pearl hanging in a sea of midnight velvet. As the silver light touches the earth, the world undergoes a transformation. The jagged edges of the mountains are softened, the deep greens of the forests turn into shades of charcoal and pewter. This is the light of quiet truth. It does not reveal everything at once. It leaves room for mystery, for dreams, and for the soft shadows where the soul finds its rest. Artemis stepped onto the mountain paths, her silver bow slung across her shoulder. She did not walk like a warrior, but like a shadow moving through shadows. Her footsteps left no mark on the dew-covered grass. She was moving toward the ancient forests that carpeted the lower slopes of the mountain. Forests where the trees were so old they had forgotten their own names. As you lie there, imagine yourself walking a few paces behind her. The air is crisp and cool, smelling of pine needles, crushed mint, and the clean, metallic scent of the moonlight itself. Feel that coolness on your skin. It is refreshing, washing away the heat and the heaviness of the day. The forest under the moon is a cathedral of silence. Artemis raised her hand, and the world became even quieter. The wind died down to a faint whisper, just enough to make the silver poplar leaves shiver with a soft, metallic sound. It is the sound of the earth exhaling. In this forest, every creature felt the protection of the goddess. The deer rested their heads on the mossy roots of the oaks, the wolves curled into silver balls beneath the ferns. There was no hunter and no prey tonight. There was only the great peace of the wild. Think of the moss beneath your feet. It is thick, soft, and holds the moisture of the night like a cool sponge. Every step you take is silent, supported by the ancient patience of the earth. Artemis led the way to a hidden glade, a circular opening in the trees where a small spring bubbled up from the rocks. The water was as clear as diamond, reflecting the full face of the moon. This was the well of stillness. To drink from it, or even to sit beside it, was to let go of every restless thought. Imagine sitting by that pool now. The surface is so still it looks like a mirror of eternity. Artemis knelt by the water, her silver robes flowing around her like a mist. She dipped her fingers into the spring, and as the ripples spread, they seemed to carry away the noise of the world. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Each circle of water is a layer of tension leaving your body. Your shoulders drop. Your jaw relaxes. Your breath becomes as slow and steady as the rising moon. Artemis began to hum a low, silver melody, a song without words that spoke of the tides, the cycles of the stars, and the secret life of the seeds beneath the snow. It was a song of continuity. It reminded the world that even in the dark, life is moving, dreaming, and preparing. You are part of that cycle. You are in your season of rest. The darkness is not a wall, it is a garden where your spirit can grow in private, away from the prying eyes of the sun. The shadows in the forest are long and elegant. They are not places of fear, but blankets of protection. Imagine yourself curling up in a bed of ferns, the large, feathery leaves arching over you like green wings. The silver light of the moon filters through the canopy, dancing on your eyelids in a slow, rhythmic pattern. You are tucked away in the very heart of the goddess's domain. No one can find you here. No one can reach you. You are hidden in the silver, safe in the silence. Artemis looked up at her moon, and for a moment, the entire universe seemed to hold its breath. She whispered a blessing to the night, a blessing of lucidity. She ensured that dreams would be clear, and that the morning would find every soul refreshed and new. She then moved back into the deep shadows, leaving the silver light to watch over you. The forest is still. The water in the pool is a mirror once more. The moon has reached the center of the sky, and its light is a cool, silver weight on your blanket. You are breathing with the trees. You are dreaming with the deer. You are part of the moonlight, drifting, glowing, and finding your way into the deepest, most beautiful part of the night. Sleep, sleep in the silver arms of the wild. The silver light of Artemis had prepared the world for stillness, but now, a new kind of peace began to weave itself through the indigo air of Olympus. It was not the peace of silence, but the peace of a perfect sound. Apollo, the god of light, music, and healing, stepped onto the marble terrace of his palace, carrying a lyre made of polished tortoiseshell and strings of pure, spun sunlight. He was the master of harmony, the one who understood that the entire universe is held together by a song that never ends. Imagine the scene as Apollo sits upon a bench of white cedar, looking out over the sleeping valleys. He does not begin with a loud chord, but with a single, soft note that vibrates through the very foundations of the mountain. Pluck. The sound is like a drop of golden honey falling into a pool of crystal water. It lingers in the air, a long, resonant hum that seems to brush against your skin like a silk scarf. As you lie there, listen to that phantom note. Let it vibrate in your chest, smoothing out the jagged thoughts of the day, replacing them with a single, golden line of melody. Apollo's fingers began to move across the strings with a slow, deliberate grace. He was playing the symphony of the spheres. This was the music that the stars make as they turn, a music so subtle that the human ear often forgets to hear it. But tonight, on Olympus, the music was clear. It was a tapestry of sound, low, grounding bass notes that felt like the pulse of the earth, and high, shimmering tones that sounded like the flickering of the distant galaxies. Each note was a thread, and Apollo was weaving a blanket of sound to cover the world. Visualize the music as a golden mist flowing down from the mountain peaks. It drifts into the forests, where the leaves begin to sway in a slow, rhythmic trance. It flows over the oceans, calming the whitecaps until the sea is as smooth as a sheet of glass. This music is a healer. It finds the places in your spirit that are tired, the places that feel frayed or worn, and it wraps them in a cocoon of harmony. Feel that music moving through you now. It starts at your feet, making them feel light and warm, and moves slowly upward, relaxing your muscles, quieting your heart, and settling in your mind like a soft, glowing ember. Apollo whispered a poem as he played, a poem without words, a poem of resonance. He told the story of how the light of the sun and the shadow of the moon are two halves of the same beautiful whole. He sang of the seasons, the way the winter prepares the ground for the spring, and the way the night prepares the soul for the day. His voice was like a warm wind through an olive grove, carrying the scent of wild laurel and sun-drenched stone. To hear him was to know that everything in the universe is in its right place. There is no discord. There is only the long, beautiful unfolding of the divine plan. Think of the strings of the lyre. They are perfectly tuned. There is no tension that is not purposeful. There is no slackness that is not intentional. You are like one of those strings. You are being tuned by the night. The stress of the day is being dialed back. The pitch of your thoughts is being lowered, until you are vibrating in perfect harmony with the world around you. You don't have to play your own song tonight. You can just be the instrument, resting in the hands of the god of music. As Apollo played, the constellations seemed to glow brighter, pulsing in time with his melody. The Great Bear, the Hunter, and the Seven Sisters all danced to the slow, celestial rhythm. The music created a boundary around your sleep, a golden circle that no worry can cross. Inside this circle, there is only the song of the stars, the song of the mountain, and the song of your own steady breath. The melody began to slow even further. The notes became longer, stretching out until they were almost sighs. Apollo leaned his head against his lyre, his golden hair catching the light of the waning moon. He played the note of final rest, a sound so deep and so soft that it felt like the very beginning of a dream. It is the sound of a mother humming to her child. It is the sound of the wind dying down at dusk. It is the sound of your own mind finally finding its center. The music has not stopped. It has simply become part of the silence. It is still there, vibrating in the walls of your room, in the fibers of your pillow, and in the rhythm of your blood. You are floating on a sea of golden sound, drifting toward the horizon of sleep. The lyre of Apollo is your heartbeat now. The harmony of the spheres is your breath. You are safe, you are healed, and you are perfectly in tune with the night. Sleep, sleep in the echo of the golden song. The song of Apollo's lyre had left the air of Olympus vibrating with harmony, but the world was still waiting for one more element to complete its soul. It was waiting for the heartbeat of beauty. Far from the high peaks, where the deep blue of the Mediterranean meets the pale sands of Cyprus, the sea began to churn with a peculiar, pearlescent energy. The waves did not crash, they rose and fell like a slow, rhythmic sigh. Out of the white sea foam, born from the essence of the sky and the salt of the deep, Aphrodite emerged. She was the final breath of perfection, the goddess who taught the universe how to love its own reflection. Imagine the moment she first stepped onto the shore. As her feet touched the sand, the grains turned to gold. Where she walked, the first roses of the world began to bloom, not red, but a pale, delicate pink, their scent so sweet and heavy that it seemed to slow down time itself. This was the scent of attraction, the aroma of a world that is finally at peace with itself. As you lie there, imagine that fragrance filling your room. It is the scent of blooming gardens after a light rain, of wild honey, and of the warm skin of the earth. It is a scent that tells you that you are beautiful, that you are worthy of rest, and that you are loved by the very air you breathe. Aphrodite did not just bring beauty, she brought the melt. She brought the ability for things to soften, to merge, and to find comfort in one another. Visualize her movement as she ascended toward Olympus. She moved like a warm breeze through a field of wheat. Her presence was like a soft light that blurred the sharp edges of the world. Under her gaze, the rugged rocks of the mountainside seemed to smooth out, becoming like polished jewels. The shadows became warmer, and the cold starlight became a gentle, silvery glow. She reached the summit of Olympus just as the moon was at its highest point. The other gods stood in silence, for they had never seen grace in such a pure form. Aphrodite smiled, and it was as if 1,000 lanterns had been lit at once. She brought with her the girdle of charms, a shimmering veil woven from the dreams of the sea. She cast this veil over the sleeping world, and as it fell, it turned every harsh thought into a memory of kindness. Feel that veil falling over you now. It is as light as a spider's web, yet as warm as a sun-drenched blanket. It touches your forehead, smoothing away the lines of concentration. It touches your eyes, making them feel heavy and content. It touches your heart, easing any tightness, any lingering sadness from the day. Under Aphrodite's veil, you are safe from the judgment of the world. You are in a sanctuary of pure, unconditional grace. You are perfect exactly as you are, resting in the center of a cosmic embrace. The goddess sat by Hestia's hearth, and the fire responded by glowing with a soft, rose-colored light. She began to speak, her voice like the sound of a distant waterfall or the humming of a mother over a cradle. She spoke of connection. She told the stars that they were brothers to the pebbles on the beach. She told the wind that it was the breath of the trees. She reminded the universe that nothing is ever truly alone. You are connected to the mountain. You are connected to the sea. You are connected to the very gods who watch over you. This connection is your anchor. It is the reason you can let go and drift into the deep waters of sleep, knowing that the world will hold you up. Around the palace of Olympus, the doves of Aphrodite began to circle. Their wings made a soft, rhythmic whirring sound, a sound that mimicked the pulse of a resting heart. Whir, whir, whir. It is the sound of peace. It is the sound of love that asks for nothing in return. As the birds settled into the eaves of the temple, the entire mountain seemed to settle with them. The air became stiller, the light became softer, and the world became a garden of infinite tranquility. Aphrodite looked out at the night and whispered a blessing of softness. She ensured that every pillow would feel like a cloud, and every dream would be a journey through a landscape of beauty. She is the one who guards the heart while the mind is away in the land of sleep. She is the one who ensures that when you wake, you will feel a sense of wonder at the world once more. Lie back now and let the grace of the foam-born goddess wash over you. You are floating in a sea of rose-colored light. The waves are gentle, the air is warm, and the beauty of the universe is a song being sung just for you. There is no need for strength tonight. There is only the need for softness. Let your body dissolve into the comfort of your bed. Let your spirit merge with the starlight. You are beautiful. You are safe. You are at rest in the heart of love. Sleep, sleep in the warmth of the divine grace. The heavy rose-scented grace of Aphrodite had settled the heart, but now, a subtle movement began to stir the air of Olympus. It was a flickering in the shadows, a movement as quick as a thought and as silent as a falling star. Hermes, the messenger of the gods and the guide of souls, stepped onto the silver threshold of the world. He was the one who belonged to all places and yet to no single place. He was the bridge between the high peaks of the gods and the deep, quiet valleys of sleep. Imagine Hermes standing at the edge of the summit, his winged sandals glowing with a soft, amber light. These wings do not flap. They vibrate with a frequency that is almost beyond hearing, a low, comforting hum that sounds like the wind moving through a canyon. MMM, MMM. This is the sound of transition. It is the sound of leaving one state of being and entering another. As you lie there, listen to that internal hum. Feel it starting at your temples, relaxing the skin around your eyes, and moving down through your neck. You are preparing to move, not with your body, but with your spirit. You are becoming light as the golden feathers on Hermes's heels. Hermes is the keeper of the golden staff, the caduceus. Around this staff, two serpents are entwined in a perfect, eternal spiral. They represent the balance of all things, day and night, waking and sleeping, movement and rest. Hermes raised this staff and touched the very air of the night. As he did, the atmosphere became fluid. The walls of your room are no longer solid, the ceiling is no longer a limit. You are becoming part of the great, flowing current of the universe. Imagine yourself as a feather caught in a warm, gentle updraft. You are rising, drifting, and moving without effort. This is the freedom of the dreamer. He began his descent from Olympus, moving through the layers of the world like a needle through silk. He is the one who carries the messages from the gods to your heart while you sleep. But these are not messages of words, they are messages of feeling. He brings the feeling of the mountain's strength to your tired bones. He brings the feeling of the ocean's vastness to your narrow thoughts. He brings the feeling of the stars' eternity to your brief worries. Feel these gifts arriving now. It is like a soft rain of gold falling through your mind, illuminating the dark corners with a gentle, flickering light. Hermes is also the protector of the traveler. And tonight, you are a traveler. You are traveling away from the shore of the day, out into the deep, misty sea of the night. He is the one who holds the lantern. He ensures that even in the deepest part of the dream, there is a golden thread connecting you back to the safety of your bed. Visualize that thread. It is made of pure light, stretching from your heart all the way back to the hearth of Hestia on Olympus. You can go as far as you like. You can fly over the silver forests of Artemis or dive into the sapphire depths of Poseidon. You are safe. You are guided. You are never lost. As Hermes moved through the night, he scattered the dust of dreams. This is a fine, invisible powder made from the breath of the clouds and the memory of the first sunrise. Imagine it falling over your eyelids. It feels cool, like the touch of a shadow. It makes the world behind your eyes more vivid, more beautiful. The colors of your dreams are being painted by the messenger himself. Deep purples, shimmering silvers, and the gold of the divine fire. He is the one who turns a simple rest into a majestic journey. He moved past the tall, silent pines and the sleeping villages, whispering a blessing of celerity. He reminded the world that while the body stays still, the soul is fast. The soul can visit the ends of the earth in a single breath. This is the magic of the night. You are not confined to this bed. You are as wide as the sky. You are as fast as the light. You are as ancient as the mountain. Let your thoughts wander. Let them drift into the places they've always wanted to go. Hermes is with you, clearing the path, opening the gates of the imagination. Now, Hermes returns to the summit, his work for this hour complete. He sits on a ledge of cloud, looking down at the world he has just blessed. He sees the millions of golden threads connecting the dreamers to the stars. He sees the peace he has woven into the air. He tucks his wings in and becomes still, a silent guardian of the thresholds. The night is now a vast, open road. There are no obstacles. There are no burdens. There is only the flight. Feel the weightlessness of your limbs. Feel the expansion of your breath. You are traveling now, guided by the messenger, protected by the staff, and fueled by the dust of dreams. The world of the day is a tiny, distant spark. The world of the night is your kingdom. Fly softly, drift deeply, and know that every path leads to peace. Sleep, sleep in the flight of the messenger. The light-footed journey of Hermes had opened the doors of the imagination, but now, a different kind of presence began to settle over the high terraces of Olympus. It was a presence of structure, of order, and of a deep, unshakable clarity. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategic thought, stepped out from the shadows of her ivory temple. She did not bring the wild dreams of the forest or the fluid emotions of the sea. She brought the great architecture of the mind. She was the one who knew that true peace is found when every thought is in its rightful place, and every storm is stilled by the power of understanding. Imagine Athena standing beneath the silver-green leaves of the very first olive tree. This tree is her gift to the world, a symbol of endurance, peace, and the light that comes from within. The leaves do not rustle in the wind. They shimmer with a soft, metallic light, reflecting the stars above like thousands of tiny, silver mirrors. As you lie there, imagine yourself sitting at the base of this ancient tree. Its trunk is wide, gnarled, and as solid as the earth itself. Feel your back resting against its bark. It is warm, steady, and carries the strength of 1,000 winters. This tree is your anchor. It connects the high thoughts of your mind to the deep, silent roots of the world. Athena raised her hand, and a magnificent owl, the bird of insight, descended from the indigo sky. Its wings made no sound as it sliced through the air, settling on a branch above her head. The owl's eyes were like two amber moons, watching the world with a gaze that saw through every illusion. Athena began to weave a loom of reason. Imagine her fingers moving through the air, gathering the frayed and tangled threads of your day. She takes the worries of tomorrow, the regrets of yesterday, and the noise of the present, and she begins to straighten them. She aligns them with the rhythm of the stars. Visualize this process in your mind. Every scattered thought is being smoothed out. Every knot of tension in your forehead is being gently untied. Athena is creating a tapestry of absolute order. Under her influence, your mind is no longer a crowded room. It is a vast, open courtyard made of white marble, lit by the cool, silver light of wisdom. There is a place for everything, and everything is in its place. Feel the relief of this order. It is the peace of knowing that you don't have to solve anything tonight. The patterns are set. The plan is in motion. You can finally let go of the reins. Athena whispered a blessing of temperance. She spoke to the beating of your heart, telling it to slow down to match the ancient pulse of the olive groves. She spoke to your breath, telling it to become as steady and deep as the movement of the tides. She brought the gift of the shield, not for war, but for protection. Imagine her great shield, the aegis, leaning against the tree beside you. It is a barrier that no chaotic thought can cross. Inside the circle of her wisdom, you are invulnerable. You are surrounded by a wall of golden logic and silver peace. Think of the oil of the olive, smooth, golden, and pure. Athena pours a single drop of this light upon your brow. It feels cool at first, then spreads into a comforting warmth that relaxes every muscle in your face. It clears the eyes of the spirit. Now, when you look into the darkness, You do not see shadows to be feared. You see the beautiful geometry of the universe. You see the way the constellations connect, the way the night balances the day, and the way your rest balances your work. You are a part of this perfect design. The air around the olive grove is still and fragrant with the scent of sun-warmed wood and bitter leaves. Athena sits beside you, her gray eyes reflecting the wisdom of the ages. She is not a goddess who demands action. She is a goddess who honors the deep thought. And the deepest thought of all is the realization that right now, in this moment, there is nothing more important than your own stillness. She is the guardian of the strategic sleep, the sleep that repairs the mind so that it may wake with the sharpness of a spear and the clarity of a mountain spring. As the owl lets out a low, soft hoot that echoes through the valley, the night feels complete. The tapestry is woven. The shield is set. The mind is clear. You are resting in the sanctuary of the wise. The silver leaves above you are whispering a lullaby of structure and grace. You are drifting into a sleep that is not a loss of consciousness, but an entry into a higher state of order. Lie back and feel the solidity of the mountain once more. You are protected by the goddess of the owl and the olive. Your thoughts are at rest. Your spirit is at peace. The world is a logical, beautiful, and safe place. Sleep, sleep in the clarity of the divine wisdom. The sharp, silver clarity of Athena has organized the mind, but now, a warmer, softer shadow begins to fall over the terraces of Olympus. It is a shadow the color of crushed grapes and midnight velvet. Dionysus, the god of the vine, of inspiration, and of sacred release, steps into the garden of the gods. He does not bring the spear of logic, he brings the wreath of ivy. He is the one who teaches the soul how to unbind itself, how to let go of the heavy armor of the self, and dissolve into the beautiful, nameless flow of the universe. Imagine the scent that follows him. It is the fragrance of earth warmed by the sun, of overripe berries, and the sweet, intoxicating perfume of night-blooming jasmine. As you lie there, let this scent fill your imagination. It is a heavy fragrance, one that makes your eyelids feel like lead and your limbs feel like soft silk. Dionysus carries a staff wrapped in ivy leaves, tipped with a pine cone. He moves not with a march, but with a rhythmic, swaying grace that mirrors the movement of the wind through a vineyard. Sway, sway, sway. Feel that movement in your own spirit. You are no longer standing stiffly. You are beginning to melt into the comfort of your surroundings. Dionysus looked out over the valleys and raised his staff. From the rich soil of the mountain, vines began to grow in fast forward, their tendrils curling around the marble pillars of the palace like emerald fingers. They did not grow with force, but with a gentle, persistent embrace. Visualize these vines entering your room. They are soft, cool, and covered in broad, velvety leaves. They create a canopy over your bed, shielding you from the outside world, creating a private grotto of green and violet light. Under this canopy, time has no meaning. There is no should, and there is no must. There is only the feeling of being held. The god of release whispered a blessing of dissolution. He spoke to the parts of you that are still trying to hold on, the parts that are still planning, still worrying, still holding your breath. He told them to surrender. He poured a cup of this sacred rest, not a drink of the body, but a nectar for the soul. Imagine taking a sip. It is cool as it passes your throat, but it explodes into a warmth that radiates to your very fingertips. It turns your muscles into liquid. It turns your thoughts into colors. You are no longer a person with a name and a story. You are a part of the vine, a part of the earth, a part of the dreaming night. Dionysus sat among the ivy, and around him, the air began to hum with the sound of 1,000 cicadas, a low, buzzing vibration that acts as a bridge to the dream world. This sound is a lullaby of losing oneself. It is the most peaceful feeling in the world, to forget who you are for a while. To let your worries float away like dry leaves on a dark stream. You are drifting on that stream now. The water is dark, warm, and perfectly still. The trees on the banks are shadows, and the stars above are just reflections in the water. Think of the grape, heavy with juice, hanging from the vine. It does not try to be anything else. It simply exists in its fullness until the moment it is harvested. You are that grape. You have reached your fullness for the day. Now is the time to be gathered by the night. The ivy leaves are stroking your forehead with their cool, soft edges. The scent of the wine-dark sea is blowing in from the horizon. Dionysus is smiling, for he knows that in sleep we are all poets. In sleep we are all gods. He brought with him the masks of dreams. These are not masks of fear, but masks of transformation. One mask allows you to fly, another allows you to breathe underwater, another allows you to speak with the animals of the forest. He lays these masks gently at the foot of your bed. You don't have to choose one yet. You can just know they are there, waiting to take you on a journey of pure imagination. The limits of the physical world are gone. You are free. The mountain of Olympus is now draped in the purple shadows of Dionysus. The gods have all found their places of rest, and the god of the vine is the last one awake, watching over the world with a gaze of absolute compassion. He understands the beauty of the wild heart and the necessity of the quiet mind. He whispers a final word, peace, and the word ripples through the leaves, through the vines, and into your heart. Lie back and feel the weightlessness of your surrender. You are wrapped in the velvet vines. You are breathing the perfume of the sacred garden. You are sinking into a sleep that is rich, deep, and beautifully strange. The night is a cup of stars, and you are drinking it in. No more words, no more thoughts. Just the flow. Just the dream. Sleep, sleep in the velvet arms of the vine. The vibrant, wine-dark dreams of Dionysus have slowly dissolved, leaving behind a silence that is older than the sun and deeper than the sea. We are now descending, not into a place of fear, but into the sacred, unseen kingdom of Hades. He is the guardian of the roots, the keeper of the earth's most precious secrets, and the master of the absolute, healing dark. Imagine the transition as the world above fades away. The light of the stars, the rustle of the leaves, and the weight of your own name are all left behind on the surface. You are sinking into a realm of pure, cooling shadow. Visualize a staircase carved from ancient, translucent onyx, spiraling down into the heart of the world. As you descend, the air becomes incredibly still. It is not cold, but it has a refreshing, mineral crispness, the scent of rain on dry stone, of crushed amethyst, and the deep, silent breath of the earth. There is no wind here. There is no time. There is only the great presence. Hades sits upon a throne of dark iron, but his eyes are not harsh. They are as calm as a midnight pool, reflecting a wisdom that comes from seeing the beginning and the end of all things. He is the king of what remains, the essence of your being that exists when all the noise of the day is stripped away. As you lie there, imagine yourself entering his great hall. The walls are made of solid, polished shadow, shimmering with veins of gold and silver that represent the thoughts of the earth. This is the place of absolute privacy. No sound from the world above can reach you here. No worry, no obligation, no expectation can find its way through these miles of protective rock. You are in the safest sanctuary in the universe. Feel the pressure of the earth above you, not as a weight, but as a massive, warm hand protecting you, holding you, and isolating you from everything that is not peace. Hades raised his hand, and from the floor of the hall, a river began to flow. Not a river of water, but a river of starlight and silence. This is the river Lethe, the stream of forgetfulness. It does not take away your identity, it only washes away the clutter. Imagine dipping your hands into this cool, dark stream. As the liquid touches your skin, the memories of the day's stress simply dissolve. The long to-do lists, the conversations, the flicker of screens, the rush of the hours, they all turn into tiny, glowing bubbles and float away. Flow, flow, flow. Your mind is becoming as clear and dark as the obsidian walls around you. You are becoming a blank canvas of rest. Hades whispered a blessing of solidarity. He spoke to your bones, telling them to become as heavy and enduring as the mountains. He spoke to your muscles, telling them to release their grip, for the earth is now holding you. You don't need to hold yourself up anymore. You are resting on the foundation of the world. Think of the gemstones that grow in this darkness, the rubies, the emeralds, the diamonds. They grow in the dark, in the quiet, through immense pressure and time. You are like those stones. This darkness is where you find your strength. This silence is where you are perfected. In the corner of the hall, the goddess Persephone sat beside him, holding a pomegranate of deep garnet red. She represents the bridge between the light and the dark. She reached out and touched the air, and suddenly, the shadows became soft, like the fur of a dark panther. They began to wrap around you, tucking you into a bed of absolute velvet. This is the deep sleep. It is a sleep that is not just a pause, but a transformation. Under the gaze of Hades, your spirit is descending into its own deepest chambers, finding the treasures you have forgotten during the day. The silence here is a living thing. It is a thick, protective layer that muffles even your own heartbeat until it becomes a soft, distant thud, the sound of the earth's own heart. Thump, thump, thump. You are in sync with the core of the planet. You are grounded in the eternal. The unseen kingdom is not a place of endings, but a place of being. There is no future here, and there is no past. There is only the now, and the now is a dark, beautiful, and infinite peace. Hades leaned back into his throne, his shadow merging with the architecture of the night. He is the guardian of your deepest rest. He will ensure that nothing disturbs your descent. He is the keeper of the gate, and tonight, the gate is closed to the world and open only to the dream. The river Lethe continues its slow, rhythmic movement, carrying you further and further away from the shore of the waking world. Lie back and feel the majesty of the deep earth. You are a jewel in the crown of Hades. You are a secret kept by the mountains. You are a soul at rest in the most silent hall of Olympus. The darkness is your friend. The silence is your home. You are descending into the velvet shadows, where only peace remains. No more light, no more sound. Just the deep, dark, beautiful truth of rest. Sleep, sleep in the kingdom of the unseen. We rise now from the heavy, velvet depths of Hades' silent kingdom, ascending through the layers of the earth, past the sleeping roots and the secret crystals, until we break the surface and soar toward the highest balconies of Mount Olympus. Here, standing upon a terrace of translucent marble that seems to float among the stars, stands Hera, the queen of the gods and the sovereign of the heavens. On her brow rests a crown of deep sapphire, forged from the very first moments of the night. She is not merely a ruler, she is the guardian of the universal order, the one who ensures that every star, every breath, and every dream follows a sacred and peaceful rhythm. Imagine standing beside her on this celestial heights. From here, the world below looks like a soft, glowing jewel wrapped in a blanket of indigo mist. The air is unimaginably pure, carrying the faint, crystalline scent of the upper ether, a smell of frozen starlight and ancient silence. Hera moves with a quiet majesty that calms the very fabric of space. As she raises her golden scepter, she isn't commanding the heavens to stir, but inviting them to be still. She is the mother of the great calm. Visualize her gaze. It is as deep as the furthest galaxy, filled with a steady, unshakable wisdom that knows you, protects you, and watches over you. As you lie there, imagine Hera's royal mantle spreading out from her shoulders, expanding until it covers the entire sky. This mantle is woven from the dark matter between the stars, decorated with the patterns of every constellation that has ever graced the night. It is a protective shield, a cosmic quilt that she is gently tucking around your shoulders. Feel the weight of this celestial fabric. It is heavy, comforting, and warm. It blocks out the noise of the world, the flickering lights of the cities, and the restless echoes of your day. Under Hera's mantle, you are a part of the divine architecture. You are exactly where you belong. The Queen of Heaven looks to the constellations and speaks a silent word of harmony. Above you, the great clock of the universe ticks with a rhythm that is slow and perfect. In and out, rise and set. The planets move in their orbits like pearls on a string, guided by her unwavering hand. This sense of order begins to flow into your own spirit. Your thoughts, which may have felt like scattered leaves in a storm, are now being aligned by her will. They are becoming like the stars, bright, fixed, and peaceful. You don't have to manage the universe tonight. Hera has everything under her command. You are free to simply exist in the silence she has created for you. Think of the peacocks that roam the gardens of her palace. In the dim light of the moon, their feathers shimmer with 1,000 eyes, the legendary eyes of Argus. These eyes do not sleep, they are the sentinels of your slumber. They watch the shadows, they guard the thresholds, and they ensure that no discord can enter the sanctuary of your mind. Each rustle of their silk-soft feathers is a whisper of security. Hush, hush, hush. You are being watched over by 1,000 gazes of love. You are the most precious guest in the halls of the Queen, and she will allow nothing to disturb the sanctity of your rest. Hera leans over the marble balustrade and pours a single drop of celestial dew from a silver flask. Imagine this drop falling through the miles of dark air, landing softly upon the world, and eventually upon your room. As it touches the atmosphere, it releases a frequency of absolute stability. It anchors your bed to the mountain, it grounds your soul to the stars. The world may turn, the seasons may change, but in this moment, under the sapphire crown, you are unmovable. You are safe. You are held in the iron grip of a mother's protection. The fire in Hestia's hearth below is a small, warm spark compared to the cold, brilliant majesty of Hera's sky, but the two work in perfect unison. One warms the body, while the other protects the soul. Hera looks at the moon, her silent sister, and they share a gaze of mutual understanding. The night is half over, and the deepest part of the journey has begun. You are now entering the inner sanctum of sleep, the place where the ego dissolves and the spirit joins the dance of the galaxies. Lie back and look up through the eyes of your imagination at the sapphire crown. Its light is a soft, blue glow that fills your vision, washing away the colors of the earth. You are drifting into the heart of the constellation, becoming a point of light in Hera's great mantle. There is no more me. There is no more now. There is only the infinite, orderly, and beautiful night. The Queen is on her throne. The stars are in their places. And you are the child of the heavens, resting in the cradle of eternity. The sky is your home. The stars are your guardians. The silence is your song. Under the watchful eyes of the peacock and the steady hand of the Queen, you may finally, fully surrender. Time has stopped. The world is at peace. Sleep, sleep in the majesty of the celestial order. We are moving forward with Chapter 19. Having rested under the sapphire gaze of Hera's celestial order, we now begin a slow, graceful descent back toward the heart of the world. We are landing softly in the vast, golden fields of Demeter, the great mother of the harvest. This is a place of absolute abundance, warmth, and the heavy, grounding peace of the earth itself. The word count is set for nearly 800 words to ensure a deep, lingering experience. Milky Way Chapter 19, The Golden Fields of Demeter and the Heavy Breath of the Earth. Read this with a voice that is warm, earthy, and resonant. Imagine your words are like thick honey pouring over a warm stone. Let your pace be as slow as the growing of a tree. As we drift down from the cold, brilliant stars of Hera's sky, we feel the air begin to change. The thin, silver ether of the high peaks softens into a thick, golden warmth. We are descending into the infinite embrace of Demeter, the goddess of the grain, the soil, and the eternal cycle of life. Imagine the scene before you, a horizon that stretches forever, filled with tall, golden wheat that sways in a slow-motion dance, moved by a wind that smells of sun-drenched earth and wild chamomile. This is the world's cradle. This is the place where the earth prepares its children for the longest, deepest sleep of all. Visualize yourself walking through the center of this golden field at the hour of twilight. The sun has set, but the earth still holds the day's heat, radiating it upward in a gentle, invisible wave. Each stalk of grain is heavy with life, bowing its head as if in prayer to the soil. As you move, the wheat brushes against your hands like the touch of a soft silk brush. Swish, swish, swish. It is the sound of the earth's own heartbeat, a rhythm of dutiful rest. Demeter is here, walking beside you. She is not a distant queen, but a mother whose skin is the color of rich loam and whose hair is the color of the harvest moon. She brings the gift of satisfied heaviness. As you lie there, imagine this heaviness entering your own body. It is the weight of a seed that has found its place in the dark, warm earth. It is a weight that feels like a thick, woolen blanket being drawn up to your chin. Your feet feel heavy, sinking into the metaphorical soil of your bed. Your legs, your hips, and your torso become as solid and peaceful as the hills of Eleusis. You are no longer floating, you are rooted. Feel the stability of the ground beneath you. It has held the world for eons, and tonight, it is holding you with a strength that will never falter. You are safe because you are part of the foundation. Demeter raises her hand, and the air becomes still, filled with the scent of the harvest. It is a deep, intoxicating aroma of ripening fruit, crushed herbs, and the sweet, dry smell of hay. This scent acts like a divine sedative. It enters your mind and begins to quiet the restless birds of your thoughts. One by one, they settle into the tall grass and close their eyes. The chatter of the day, the worries about growth, the fears of the frost, they all wither away. Under Demeter's gaze, you realize that nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. You do not need to rush toward tomorrow. Tomorrow will grow on its own, nourished by the silence of your sleep. Think of the cycles of the seasons. There is a time for the sprout, a time for the flower, and a time for the harvest. But there is also the winter of the soul, the time when the field must lie fallow, when the earth must be dark and cold to gather its strength. You are in that sacred fallow time now. Your sleep is the winter that will bring the spring. Demeter whispers a blessing of germination into your ear. She tells you that while you sleep, your spirit is being fed by the deep, secret nutrients of the night. You are being replenished. You are being made whole. The moon rises over the fields, a great, orange orb that turns the golden wheat into a sea of liquid copper. Demeter sits on a mound of earth, her hands resting in her lap, watching over her domain with a gaze of infinite patience. She knows the secret of the long rest. She knows that the grain must be still before it can be bred. She knows that you must be still before you can be whole. Visualize her placing a single golden seed in the center of your palm. It is warm, and it pulses with the energy of the sun. This is the seed of contentment. Close your hand around it in your mind, and let its warmth spread up your arm and into your heart. Around you, the world is settling into the deep, dark soil. The burrowing creatures are tucked into their nests. The roots are drinking from the underground springs. The entire planet is taking a slow, deep breath in unison. Inhale and exhale. The world is full. The barns are overflowing. The work is done. There is nothing left to do but surrender to the gravity of the earth. You are sinking deeper into your pillow, deeper into the dark, protective layers of the night. Demeter remains as the guardian of your roots. She ensures that the soil of your dreams is rich and safe. She keeps the cold winds away. She wraps the world in a cloak of golden shadow. You are a seed in the palm of the Great Mother. You are a stalk of grain in the field of eternity. The light of the day is a distant memory, and the light of the morning is a promise far away. In between, there is only the beautiful, heavy, golden dark. Lie back and feel the abundance of your own peace. You have everything you need. You are exactly where you need to be. The harvest is gathered, the earth is warm, and the mother is watching. Drift down, sink deep, and let the soil of sleep cover you in its velvet embrace. Sleep, sleep in the golden heart of the earth. We leave the golden, heavy fields of Demeter, carrying the warmth of the earth in our bones, and we travel further, past the forests, past the jagged cliffs, until the ground beneath us turns to soft, silver sand. We have reached the limits of the world. Before us lies the Oceanus, the vast, circular river that flows around the earth in an eternal loop. This is not the stormy sea of the sailor. This is the primal water, the blue-black mirror of the cosmos. It is a place where the air tastes of salt and ancient mist, and where the sound of the world is replaced by the singular, rhythmic heartbeat of the tide. Imagine standing at the edge of this infinite water at the hour of the deep night. The moon is high, casting a long, shimmering bridge of white light across the surface of the river. The water is a deep, translucent sapphire, moving with a power so immense that it feels like the breathing of a sleeping giant. In and out. In and out. As you lie there, begin to sync your own breath with this cosmic tide. Feel the cool, salt-tinged air entering your lungs, expanding your chest, and then slowly leaving, carrying with it every last grain of tension. You are standing on the shore of eternity, and the water is calling you to let go. Oceanus, the titan of the tides, rises slowly from the depths. He is not made of flesh, but of moving water and starlight. His beard is the foam of 1,000 waves, and his eyes are the deep, calm green of the lightless abyss. He does not speak with words, he speaks with frequency. He brings the gift of total fluidity. He reminds you that you are not a solid, rigid thing, but a being made of flow. He reaches out a hand made of mist and touches the air around you. Suddenly, the boundaries of your body feel as though they are dissolving. You are no longer confined to the shape of your limbs. You are expanding, spilling out into the silver sand, merging with the rhythmic pulse of the tide. Visualize the first wave as it reaches your feet. It is cool, gentle, and incredibly soft. It washes over you, and as it retreats, it takes with it the dust of your personality. Your name, your roles, your memories of the day. Wash. Retreat. Wash. Retreat. With every cycle of the water, you become lighter. You are being polished like a piece of sea glass, your sharp edges smoothed away by the patient persistence of the ocean. Feel the relief of being unbounded. You are no longer a person trying to navigate a world, you are the water itself, ancient and effortless. Oceanus leads you further out, into the abyss of serenity. Here, there are no storms, no waves, only a vast, silent swell. Imagine yourself floating on your back in this sapphire river. The water is dense and supportive, holding you up so completely that you don't have to move a single muscle. You are weightless. Above you, the stars are mirrored perfectly in the water, so that you feel as though you are floating in the center of the universe. Stars above, stars below, and nothing but the blue silence in between. This is the cradle of the deep. It is the most profound support you have ever felt. The river carries a blessing of continuity. It tells you that the flow never stops, that the water that washes your feet tonight has been here since the beginning of time and will be here until the end. This permanence brings a deep, cooling peace to your heart. Nothing is lost. Everything returns to the sea. Your fatigue, your stress, your questions, let them sink into the deep. The ocean is large enough to hold them all, to dissolve them into salt and foam. You are empty now, a hollow vessel for the night to fill with dreams. As you drift further into the dark blue, the sound of the shore fades away. There is only the low-frequency hum of the deep water, a sound that vibrates in your marrow. It is the sound of the great OM. It is the sound of life at rest. Oceanus wraps you in a cloak of liquid silk, a garment that is both cool and protective. He is the guardian of the world's perimeter, and tonight, he is the guardian of your sleep. No one can cross this river to reach you. No noise can penetrate this depth. You are in the heart of the sanctuary of the flow. Think of the bioluminescence in the water, tiny, glowing sparks of green and blue light that dance around you as you drift. They are the fireflies of the sea, the dreams of the water. They illuminate your path into the deepest levels of slumber. You are moving toward the center of the circle, toward the place where the river meets itself. You are closing the loop. You are coming home to the stillness that exists before the world began. Lie back and feel the rhythm of the infinite tide. You are part of the pulse. You are part of the water. You are part of the deep, blue night. The shore is gone, the stars are your only map, and the great river is carrying you into the heart of the dream. Flow down, sink in, and let the salt-crowned rest wash over your soul. Sleep, sleep in the arms of the infinite flow. We have drifted far upon the infinite tides of Oceanus, and now, the rhythmic pulse of the great river leads us to a shore that doesn't exist on any map of the living. This is the Elysian Fields, the Isles of the Blessed, a secret garden of the spirit hidden at the very edge of the night. Here, there is no sun to burn and no moon to chill. Instead, the entire world is bathed in a soft, perpetual lavender twilight. It is a light that seems to emanate from the flowers themselves, a gentle, violet glow that turns every shadow into a place of rest. Imagine stepping onto the soft, silver sands of this island. The air here is unlike any other. It is perfectly still, perfectly warm, and it carries the scent of eternal peace. It is a fragrance of honeyed asphodel, white lilies, and the cool breath of a spring that never runs dry. As you lie there, imagine this lavender light filling your room. It is a color that speaks directly to the soul, telling it that the journey is over for now. You have arrived. There are no more mountains to climb, no more rivers to cross, and no more battles to win. You are in the sanctuary of the heroes of the spirit. In the center of this island stands a grove of trees with leaves made of hammered silver and fruits of glowing amber. These are the trees of memory and mercy. When the wind moves through them, a wind as soft as a sigh, they produce a sound like 1,000 tiny bells ringing in the distance. Chime, chime, chime. This music is the antidote to all stress. It vibrates at the frequency of pure contentment. As you listen to this phantom music in your mind, feel your nervous system finally, completely exhaling. Every cell in your body is being recalibrated to this island's frequency. You are being washed clean by the twilight. Walk with me toward the center of the grove. There is a spring here known as the Well of Remembrance. But this is not the remembrance of pain, it is the remembrance of your true, divine self. To sit by this water is to realize that you are much more than the worries of your waking life. You are a child of the stars, a guest of the gods, and a being of light. The goddess Persephone stands here in her aspect of the Queen of Peace. She wears a crown of pale poplar leaves, and her eyes are filled with the stillness of the deep earth. She reaches out and offers you a cloak made of the twilight itself. Feel this cloak being draped over you now. It is weightless, yet it feels like the most protective shield ever forged. It is a garment of invisibility to care. As long as you wear it, the demands of the world cannot see you. The clocks cannot find you. The voices of the day cannot reach you. You are tucked away in a fold of eternity. Your body feels like it is dissolving into the soft grass of the island, grass that is as cool as silk and as comforting as a cloud. You are sinking, not into the earth, but into the state of grace. The Isles of the Blessed are the home of those who have found peace within themselves. Here, the great heroes of the past sit in groups, not talking, but simply being. They share a silence that is more meaningful than any poem. You are invited to join their circle. You are a hero of your own life, and tonight, your reward is this absolute stillness. Imagine the faces of those you have loved and lost, appearing in the twilight not as ghosts, but as points of light, smiling at you, reminding you that love is the only thing that survives the crossing. This island is the place where all things are made right. Demeter's golden fields were about nourishment, and Oceanus's tides were about flow, but this island is about arrival. It is the feeling of finally being home in the deepest sense. There is no tomorrow here, for the twilight is eternal. There is no yesterday, for the lavender light dissolves the past. There is only the magnificent now. Think of a butterfly with wings of purple silk, landing softly on your hand. It represents the lightness of your soul. You are that butterfly. You are that silk. You are that softness. As the twilight deepens into a rich, royal plum color, the entire island seems to hum with a low, melodic vibration, the song of the earth's soul. It is a song that tells you it is okay to let go. It is okay to sleep. It is okay to trust the dark. The gods have built this island just for this moment, just for you to have a place where your spirit can be entirely at rest. Persephone sits by the well, her presence a silent promise that she will guard your transition into the deepest levels of the dream. Lie back and feel the silver leaves of the grove arching over you. The lavender light is behind your eyelids now, turning your inner world into a garden of peace. You are breathing the air of the blessed. You are resting on the shore of the Spirit. The great journey has reached its most beautiful destination. No more effort, no more thought. Just the twilight. Just the bells. Just the peace. Sleep, sleep in the islands of the blessed. We leave the lavender twilight of the blessed isles, carrying the scent of asphodel into a realm that feels even more vast. We are entering the Hall of Moros, the god of destiny and the silent partner of the fates. While the world may seem chaotic and the day may feel like a series of accidents, Moros is the one who holds the golden thread, the invisible line that connects your birth to your dreams, and your dreams to your ultimate peace. He is the god of inevitability, and tonight, that inevitability is your rest. He is the guardian who tells the world, stop. This soul has finished its tasks for today. It is written. Imagine standing in a space that has no walls, only pillars of light that stretch upward into the infinite indigo. This is the atrium of the ages. The floor is a dark, polished obsidian that reflects the entire history of the stars. In the center of this space sits Moros. He does not wear a crown, nor does he carry a weapon. He holds only a single glowing spool of golden thread. As he pulls the thread, it makes a sound like a soft, metallic sigh, the sound of time moving forward in perfect, unhurried grace. This is the sound of your life unfolding exactly as it should. Pull, slide, pull, slide. It is a rhythm of absolute certainty. As you lie there, imagine this golden thread gently encircling your room. It is a line of pure energy that creates a boundary around your bed. Nothing can cross this thread that is not meant to be there. No worry about the future can penetrate it, for Moros already holds the future in his hands. He is the one who knows that the sun will rise, that the seasons will turn, and that your heart will continue its steady beat while you wander the land of dreams. Feel the relief of this cosmic preparedness. You are not the captain of this ship tonight. You are a passenger on a vessel that knows the way home. Moros looks at you with eyes that have seen the beginning of the universe and its end. In his gaze, your daily struggles seem like tiny, beautiful sparks in a great fire, necessary but small. He brings the gift of scale. He helps you realize that the things that kept you awake an hour ago are already part of the past, woven into the tapestry and settled forever. He reaches out and touches the golden thread that represents your today. He ties a soft, glowing knot at the end of it. This signifies completion. The day is done. It is sealed. It is finished. There is nothing more you can add to it, and nothing you can take away. Visualize this knot of completion as a warm light at the base of your spine. From this point, a feeling of finality spreads through your body. Your hands, which were busy all day, are now released from their service. Your feet, which carried you through the hours, are now permitted to be still. Your brain, which tried to solve 1,000 puzzles, is given the divine command to cease. Under the law of Moros, it is now illegal for you to work. You are under the protection of destiny's rest. The god of fate begins to weave a web of tomorrow above you, but it is faint, like a dream not yet dreamed. He tells you that tomorrow is already being prepared, that the path is being cleared, and the opportunities are being aligned. But that is for the future. Between the done of today and the to be of tomorrow lies the vast, beautiful void of the night. Moros invites you into this void. He calls it the Great Neutrality. It is a place where you are neither what you have done nor what you will do. You are simply being. Think of the stars as the needle points of Moros's loom. Every time a star flickers, a new thread of peace is added to the world's blanket. You are lying under the heaviest, most beautiful tapestry ever woven. It is the tapestry of trust. You are trusting the gravity that holds you to the earth. You are trusting the air that enters your lungs. You are trusting the destiny that has brought you to this moment of quiet. Everything is according to the plan. There are no mistakes in the house of Moros. Even your fatigue is part of the design. As the god of fate slowly turns his spool, the light in the atrium dims to a deep, royal charcoal. The golden thread becomes a faint, pulsing line, like a heartbeat made of light. Moros whispers a blessing of certainty. He ensures that your spirit will find its way back to your body in the morning, refreshed and renewed. But for now, he commands the thread to go slack. He allows you to drift away from the line of time. You are entering the timeless state. Lie back and feel the absolute authority of this peace. You are not just resting. You are fulfilling a cosmic decree. The Master of Destiny has signed the order for your slumber. The universe is standing still to allow you this moment. The golden thread is soft, the obsidian floor is silent, and the destiny of the night is yours to claim. No more questions, no more choices. Just the unfolding. Just the peace. Sleep, sleep in the hands of the golden thread. From the heavy golden threads of Moros and the solid obsidian halls of destiny, we rise like a bubble of air through the deep blue sea. We are ascending past the clouds, past the reach of the highest mountain peaks, into the realm of ether. He is the personification of the high sky, the brilliant, luminous air that exists only where the stars are born. This is not the air of the lungs, but the air of the spirit. It is a place of such profound purity that to breathe, it is to be washed clean from the inside out. Imagine the world falling away beneath you until it is nothing more than a distant, soft-focused dream. You have reached the altar of light. Visualize the light of ether. It is not the burning heat of the sun, nor the cold reflection of the moon. It is a soft, white radiance that seems to come from everywhere at once. A living glow. It is the color of a diamond held against the dawn. As you lie there, imagine this crystalline light filling your room. It passes through the walls, through the blankets, and through your skin as if you were made of glass. It is a light that doesn't cast shadows. It only reveals the essence. Feel this light touching your forehead, your chest, and your hands. It feels cool, like a breath of mountain air, yet it carries a warmth that resonates in the very center of your soul. Ether stands in the center of this radiance, a figure made of shimmering mist and blue fire. He brings the gift of total transparency. He is the one who clears the smog of the day. Think of all the small, sticky attachments of the last 16 hours. The fragments of conversations, the blue light of screens, the residues of stress, and the dust of the world. Ether raises his hands, and a high wind begins to blow. It is a silent wind, a wind of pure spirit. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. It moves through your mind, blowing away the cobwebs of worry. It moves through your body, lifting the heaviness from your limbs. You are becoming lighter. You are becoming as clear and bright as the atmosphere of Olympus. As you lie in your bed, imagine your breath becoming one with the breath of ether. With every inhale, you are pulling in this crystalline, divine air. It tastes of ozone and ancient ice. It fills your lungs not with weight, but with space. You are expanding. Your thoughts are no longer crowded. They are like distant stars, spaced millions of miles apart in a vast, indigo void. There is so much room inside you now. Room for peace. Room for silence. Room for the divine. You are a vessel of light, resting in a sea of purity. Ether whispers a blessing of innocence. He reminds you that, at your core, beneath the roles you play and the tasks you perform, you are a being of light. You are as pure as the first day of creation. He washes your eyes with the dew of the upper heavens, so that when you close them, you don't see the problems of the world. You see the geometry of grace. You see the beautiful, interlocking patterns of the universe. This clarity is the ultimate sedative. When there is nothing left to solve and nothing left to hide, the soul has no choice but to rest. Imagine yourself floating in this high, blue radiance. You are weightless. There is no up and no down. You are suspended in a state of perfect equilibrium. The gravity of the earth is a distant memory. The weight of your body is a soft, forgotten cloak. You are a point of consciousness drifting through the ether, moving toward the most luminous part of the night. This is the sleep of the wise, a sleep that is not a darkness, but a different kind of light. The god of the high air begins to weave a cocoon of clarity around you. It is made of fine, shimmering threads of blue light. This cocoon protects your purity. It ensures that while you sleep, your mind remains a sanctuary of peace. It filters your dreams, allowing only the most crystalline and beautiful visions to enter. You are being held in a prism of protection. Every cell in your body is vibrating at this higher, cleaner frequency. You are being unbound from the earth and bound to the heavens. Ether looks down at the world below, where the clouds are like soft, white sheep sleeping in the valleys. He then looks at you and places a hand made of starlight upon your heart. He tells you that you are clean. You are clear. You are ready. The day has been washed away. The night is a vast, open cathedral of light. There is nothing between you and the stars. Lie back and feel the radiance of the high sky. You are breathing the air of the gods. You are resting in the heart of the light. The silence is absolute, and the purity is total. You are a diamond in the dark, glowing with the peace of the ether. No more weight, no more dust. Just the light. Just the breath. Just the purity. Sleep, sleep in the radiant breath of the heavens. From the weightless crystalline heights of ether's high sky, we descend just a fraction, landing upon the solid, ancient foundation of Themis. She is the goddess of rightness, the one who sits beside Zeus to ensure that the universe remains in a state of perfect mathematical balance. She carries the great scales, but tonight, those scales are not used for judgment. They are used to find the equilibrium of the soul. She is the one who declares that the scales of your life have been balanced for today, that your efforts have been weighed, your kindness is measured, and your debt to the daylight has been paid in full. Imagine standing in a hall of towering white marble columns, open to a sky of deep indigo. In the center sits Themis, her eyes covered by a cloth of silver silk. She does not need to see the world with physical eyes. She feels its weight. She feels the weight of the mountains, the weight of the oceans, and the weight of your heart. As you lie there, imagine her golden scales hanging in the air before you. On one side, she places the energy you spent today, the words you spoke, the steps you took, the thoughts you labored over. On the other side, she begins to pour the feathers of peace. Ting, ting, ting. One by one, the scales begin to move until they are perfectly level. This is the gift of justification. Themis is whispering to your spirit that you have done enough. There is a profound, cooling relief in that word. Enough. You do not need to do more. You do not need to be more. The scales are even. The day is balanced. As you feel this realization settling into your mind, imagine a heavy, golden coin being placed upon your chest, not to crush you, but to anchor you. It is the coin of equital. It means that you have earned this rest. It is your right, by the law of the stars and the decree of the gods. Feel your body accepting this right, your muscles relaxing under the authority of divine law. Themis raised her sword, not to strike, but to draw a line in the sand. This is the boundary of the night. She tells the world that the time for doing is over, and the time for being has begun. She creates a sacred law that says your worries cannot follow you past this point. They are stopped at the border. They are held in a waiting room outside your consciousness, for they have no legal standing in the realm of sleep. You are now under the jurisdiction of divine quiet. You are safe behind the walls of cosmic justice. Visualize the marble floor beneath you. It is cool and incredibly smooth. As you lie there, imagine your body becoming as still and as permanent as that marble. You are a monument to stability. Themis breathes a blessing of rectitude over you. She aligns your spine with the axis of the earth. She aligns your breath with the rotation of the planets. You are no longer drifting. You are set. You are in your correct place in the universe. There is a deep, architectural comfort in this. You are not a random speck of dust. You are a pillar in the temple of the night. Think of the blindness of Themis. She does not see your mistakes, your flaws, or your unfinished business. She only feels the truth of your fatigue. And the truth is that you are tired. The truth is that you need to be renewed. This is a law that cannot be broken. To sleep is to obey the highest order of the cosmos. By closing your eyes, you are participating in the great restoration. You are helping to keep the universe in balance. If you do not rest, the scales will tip. When you do rest, the world remains whole. The goddess of balance begins to pour a thick, silver oil from a stone jar. This is the oil of order. Imagine it being rubbed into your shoulders, your neck, and your temples. It feels heavy and cool. It smoothens out the internal noise. It silences the internal judge. The only judge left is Themis, and she has already ruled in your favor. She has cleared your name. She has dismissed your cases. You are free. You are acquitted of all the day's burdens. As the night deepens, Themis remains on her throne, the silent sentinel of the law. The scales are still, the sword is sheathed, and the hall is filled with the scent of ancient stone and cold incense. She is the guardian of your sacred rights. She will ensure that your sleep is deep, uninterrupted, and fair. The universe is a place of justice, and tonight, justice means a long, beautiful, and silent rest. Lie back and feel the weight of the divine balance. You are level. You are right. You are home. The scales are still, and your heart is steady. The law of the night is in effect, and it commands you to be at peace. No more struggle, no more judgment. Just the balance. Just the order. Just the law. Sleep, sleep in the scales of the divine justice. From the heavy marble stability of Themis and her scales of justice, we drift into a place that feels like a vast, underwater library. This is the realm of Mnemosyne, the goddess of memory. She is the one who holds the keys to every moment you have ever lived, every face you have ever loved, and every lesson you have ever learned. But tonight, she does not come to remind you of the stings of the past. She comes as the great editor. She is the one who takes the chaotic, raw data of your day and begins to weave it into a beautiful, coherent story. She is the guardian of your inner continuity. Imagine standing in a hall made of liquid sapphire, where the walls are lined with millions of glowing jars of light. Each jar contains a memory. Some are bright as suns, some are soft as fireflies. Mnemosyne moves through this hall with a grace that is both ancient and eternal. She wears a robe that changes color as she moves, reflecting every shade of the sky you have ever seen. As you lie there, imagine her entering the quiet room of your mind. She brings with her a silver basin, filled with the waters of the well of memory. But this water is different from the river Lethe. It doesn't make you forget. It makes you understand. She sits by the side of your bed and begins the sorting of the day. Visualize her slender, glowing fingers reaching into your mind and gently picking up the fragments of the last 16 hours. She takes the sharp words, the moments of frustration, and the jagged edges of worry, and she dips them into her silver basin. As the water touches them, the sharpness dissolves. The pain is washed away, leaving only the gold of wisdom behind. Dip, rinse, shine. One by one, the events of your day are being transformed. The stress is gone, only the experience remains. You are being relieved of the emotional weight of your history, leaving you with only its value. As you lie still, feel this softening of the story happening within you. Your past is not a heavy pack on your back, it is a treasure chest at your feet. Mnemosyne whispers a blessing of perspective. She reminds you that you are the author of your life, but tonight, you are allowed to put the pen down. She is taking over the narrative. She is filing away your thoughts into the correct jars, labeling them with peace, and placing them on the high shelves where they can glow in the dark. This is the healing of the mind. When everything is stored and sorted, the mind can finally, truly, go quiet. Think of the Muses, her 9 daughters, the goddesses of song, poetry, and dance. Even now, they are standing in the shadows of Mnemosyne's hall, humming a low, wordless melody that sounds like the resonance of a distant bell. This is the music of integration. It helps your brain weave the new threads of today into the old tapestry of your life. It is a rhythmic, hypnotic sound that makes your brainwaves slow down, matching the slow, pulsing light of the memory jars. Hum, hum, hum. You are becoming a masterpiece of lived experience, perfectly preserved and perfectly at rest. Mnemosyne takes a brush made of moonlight and paints a stroke across your forehead. This is the mark of the muse. It ensures that your dreams tonight will not be chaotic, but artistic. You are entering the realm of the epic dream, the place where your spirit can explore the deepest truths of the universe in a language of symbols and light. You don't have to remember these dreams in the morning. Mnemosyne will hold them for you. She is the witness of your soul's journey. She is the one who remembers who you are when you are too tired to remember yourself. The hall of sapphire light begins to dim, the jars glowing like embers in a hearth. Mnemosyne leans back, her task for this night nearly complete. She has organized your mind. She has polished your memories. She has turned your day into a poem. There is no more clutter. There is no more noise. There is only the clean library of the self. You can feel the vast space inside your head, a space that is cool, dark, and filled with the gentle glow of wisdom. Lie back and feel the comfort of your own history. You are a long, beautiful story that is still being written, but for tonight, the book is closed and resting on a golden stand. You are safe in the archives of the goddess. Your memories are your friends. Your past is your pillow. The silence of the library is your blanket. No more searching, no more analyzing. Just the story. Just the light. Just the memory of peace. Sleep, sleep in the golden archive of the soul. We leave the sapphire libraries of Mnemosyne and find ourselves standing at the edge of a forest so ancient that the sunlight of 1,000 years ago still seems to linger in the deep moss. This is the domain of Pan, the god of the wild, the flocks, and the unbridled spirit of nature. But the Pan you meet tonight is not the one who leaps through the thickets or plays the frantic tunes of the chase. No, you have found him in the hour of the great Panise silence. The moment when the god of the wild lays down his pipes, curls his rugged form against the roots of an ancient oak, and commands the entire universe to be absolutely, perfectly still. Imagine the atmosphere of this forest. It is not the silence of a vacuum. It is a vibrating silence. It is the sound of 1,000,000 trees breathing in unison, the sound of the earth's sap moving slowly through the wood, and the sound of the shadows lengthening across the ferns. As you lie there, imagine yourself reclining on a bed of dry pine needles and thick emerald moss. The ground is warm, holding the heat of a sun that set eons ago. Feel that warmth seeping into your back, your shoulders, and your heavy limbs. You are not just lying on the earth, you are becoming a part of the forest floor. You are sinking into the wild peace. Pan lies only a few paces away, his chest rising and falling like the swell of a hill. He brings the gift of instinctive safety. In his presence, the predator and the prey inside your own mind have reached a truce. The hunter, that part of you that is always seeking, always striving, always wanting more, has finally laid down its bow. The hunted, that part of you that feels anxious, hurried, or watched, has finally found its burrow. Under Pan's protection, the forest is a sanctuary of total neutrality. There is nothing to fear here, for the god of fear himself is fast asleep. Visualize the silence as a thick, green mist that flows from the hollow of Pan's flute. It settles over the trees, silencing the cicadas, hushing the brooks, and even stopping the rustle of the leaves. Shu. SSS. SHHH. This is the noon of the soul. It is a state where the world is so still that you can hear the stars turning above the canopy. Feel this green silence entering your ears, wrapping around your thoughts like soft ivy. It numbs the noise of the human world, the engines, the voices, the digital hums. They are all gone. There is only the breath of the oak and the pulse of the soil. Pan whispers a blessing of animality, not as a wildness, but as a return to your simplest, most honest self. He reminds you that you are a creature of the earth. You don't need a name tonight. You don't need a career or a plan. You only need to breathe. You only need to exist. Imagine your heart slowing down to match the rhythm of the hibernating bear, the sleeping owl, and the ancient stone. You are shedding the human and becoming nature. There is a profound, primal relief in this shedding. It is the relief of coming home to the herd, to the pack, to the forest of your ancestors. Think of the roots of the tree you are leaning against. They reach down into the dark, secret waters of the earth, drawing up a cool, steady strength. Imagine your own spirit sending down roots into your bed, into the floor, into the very bedrock of the world. You are anchored. No storm can move you. No wind can shake you. You are as permanent as the mountain. Pan reaches out a hand, rough as bark yet gentle as a petal, and touches your feet. He is grounding your energy, pulling the excess electricity of the day down into the soil where it can be neutralized. The forest light is a deep, mossy charcoal, broken only by the occasional flicker of a will-o'-the-wisp, the forest's own dreams. These lights dance in the periphery of your vision, guiding you deeper into the thicket of sleep. You are moving toward the heart of the green, the most protected place in the wild. Here, the air is thick with the scent of crushed mint, wild thyme, and the heavy, sweet musk of the earth. It is an ancient perfume that tells your brain, the world is old, the world is wise, and the world is taking care of you. As Pan lets out a long, slow sigh in his sleep, the entire forest seems to sink an inch deeper into the ground. The peace is total. The silence is absolute. You are tucked into the roots of the universe, hidden away from the light of the sun and the noise of the day. You are a wild thing at rest, safe in the center of the god's own dream. Lie back and feel the moss beneath you. You are part of the wood. You are part of the wild. You are part of the great silence. The pipes are still, the god is resting, and the forest is your blanket. No more words, no more thoughts. Just the breath. Just the green. Just the wild. Sleep, sleep in the secret noon of the forest. Leaving the primal, mossy silence of Pan's forest, we follow a slow, dark stream known as the River Lethe, whose waters murmur with the sound of 1,000 forgotten sighs. We are approaching a hidden valley in the land of the Sumerians, where the sun never shines and the air is perpetually filled with a soft, gray mist. Here, tucked into the side of a silent mountain, lies the cave of Hypnos, the god of sleep. There is no door to this cave, for there is no need to keep anything out. The very atmosphere of this place is so heavy with peace that even the wind falls asleep before it can reach the entrance. Imagine the approach to this sanctuary. The ground is carpeted with millions of black and purple poppies, their heavy heads nodding in a breeze that only exists in the mind. These poppies exhale a fine, invisible dust, the essence of slumber. As you lie there, imagine this poppy dust drifting into your room. It is a soft, floral weight that settles over your chest and your limbs. It smells of earth and ancient velvet. With every breath, you are inhaling the very substance of sleep. Your body is becoming as heavy as lead, yet as soft as a cloud. You are no longer resisting the pull of the bed. You are sinking through it, into the deep, dark heart of the mountain. Inside the cave, there is no sound of birds, no sound of barking dogs, and no sound of human toil. There is only the deep resonance. It is a low-frequency hum that vibrates in the marrow of your bones, the sound of the universe resting. In the center of the cavern, on a bed of ebony draped in feathers of pure shadow, lies Hypnos. He is a youth with wings upon his temples, his face a mask of absolute, divine serenity. He carries a horn from which he pours a liquid sleep, and a branch dripped in the dew of the river Lethe. As you lie still, imagine Hypnos standing over you. He doesn't speak, for words are too sharp for this place. Instead, he shakes his branch of Lethe dew over your forehead. Drip, drop, drip. Each drop is a concentrated moment of oblivion. It touches your skin and instantly dissolves the last remaining connections to the waking world. The memory of your name, the memory of your room, the memory of your very body, they are all fading into a beautiful, gray blur. You are becoming a ghost of yourself, a spirit ready to enter the hall of dreams. Around the bed of Hypnos flit his 1,000 sons, the Oneiroi, the dreams. They are like butterflies made of smoke, each one carrying a different world within its wings. There is Morpheus, who takes the shape of humans, Phobter, who takes the shape of animals, and Phantasos, who becomes the inanimate things, the mountains, the oceans, and the stars. They are waiting for you. They are circling your sleep, weaving a tapestry of visions that will entertain your soul while your body heals. You don't have to choose a dream, they will find the one that your spirit needs. Visualize the cave walls. They are not made of stone, but of liquid shadow. They pulse with a soft, rhythmic light, like a heartbeat. Slow, slow, slow. This rhythm is the universal lullaby. It is the rhythm of the tides, the rhythm of the seasons, and now, it is the rhythm of your own heart. You are perfectly synchronized with the god of sleep. You are his guest. You are under his sovereign protection. In this cave, there is no such thing as a nightmare. There is only the great restoration. Hypnos raises his ebony horn and pours a final measure of sleep into the air. It is a thick indigo mist that fills every corner of your consciousness. It is the final veil. As this mist wraps around you, you feel a sense of holy surrender. You are giving yourself over to the dark, and you find that the dark is not empty. It is full of love, full of peace, and full of the wisdom of the ages. You are a seed in the pod of the night, waiting for the morning, but perfectly content in the darkness. The Oneiroi begin to descend, their smoky wings brushing against your eyelids. They are whispering the secrets of the gods into your ears, stories that you will forget by dawn but will carry in your soul forever. The cave of Hypnos is now your entire universe. There is no outside world. There is no time. There is only the now of the dream. Lie back and feel the feathers of the ebony bed. You are heavy. You are soft. You are gone. The poppies are nodding, the Lethe is flowing, and the god of sleep is watching over you. The transition is complete. You have crossed the threshold. You are no longer a dweller of the earth. You are a traveler of the mist. Sleep, sleep in the cave of the eternal rest. Having surrendered to the heavy, poppy-scented air of the cave of Hypnos, we find ourselves drifting toward the very end of the cavern. Here, the liquid shadows part to reveal two monumental structures that stand as the final threshold between the world of the gods and the world of your sleeping mind. These are the gates of dreams. To the left stands a gate carved of polished, gleaming ivory, white as a winter cloud and intricately decorated with scenes of impossible beauty. To the right stands a gate made of thin, translucent horn, polished until it is as clear as a mountain stream, humble in its appearance but vibrating with a quiet, ancient power. Imagine yourself floating toward these gates. The gate of ivory is dazzling. It is the source of the false dreams, the visions that are beautiful but hollow, the fantasies that distract us from our truth. But the gate of horn is the path of the true dreams, the visions that bring wisdom, healing, and the prophetic messages of the soul. As you lie there, imagine a soft amber light emanating from the gate of horn. This light is calling to you. It is the light of sincerity. It doesn't promise a palace of gold, but it promises a sanctuary of truth. You are moving toward the horn, choosing the path of the genuine spirit. As you pass through the translucent arches of the gate of horn, the air changes once more. It becomes exceptionally thin and clear, like the atmosphere of a high plateau. You are entering the gallery of symbols. Here, your life is no longer a series of facts, but a series of beautiful images. Mnemosyne, the goddess of memory we met before, stands here to assist the Oneiroi. Together, they are preparing the golden vision for you. This is a dream specifically designed to nourish your deepest needs. If you need courage, they weave a dream of mountains. If you need love, they weave a dream of warm hearths. If you need rest, they weave a dream of starlit oceans. Visualize the true dream beginning to take shape around you. It doesn't arrive with a bang, but with a gradual unfolding. It starts as a color, a deep, comforting indigo, and then a texture, the feeling of cool water or warm sand. Slowly, slowly, the edges of the vision sharpen. You are being invited into a story where you are the hero, but a hero who is at peace. In this realm, the laws of physics are replaced by the laws of meaning. You can fly because your spirit is light. You can understand the language of the birds because your heart is open. You are experiencing the true self that exists beyond the masks of the waking world. The gate of horn brings a blessing of lucid peace. Even though you are dreaming, a part of you remains aware that you are safe, tucked away in the silver arms of the night. This awareness allows you to explore the dream world without fear. You are walking through the landscapes of your own wisdom. Think of a mirror made of dark water. As you look into it within your dream, you don't see your physical face. You see a spark of divine light. This is what the gate of horn reveals, the eternal spark that remains unchanged by time or trouble. The Oneiroi are all around you now, acting as the stagehands of this divine theater. They are painting the scenery with brushes made of starlight. They are whispering the dialogue into the wind, but they are doing so with a sacred silence. The dream is quiet. It is a cinematic stillness. Imagine yourself sitting on a hilltop in this dream, watching a sky where 3 moons rise at once. Each moon represents a part of your peace, the peace of the body, the peace of the mind, and the peace of the spirit. They are all aligned. They are all full. Feel the weightlessness of this state. In the true dream, there is no gravity to pull at your joints, no time to pressure your decisions. You are floating in a sea of possibility. Everything that seemed impossible during the day is now a simple, beautiful reality. You are healing. With every scene that unfolds in your mind, a knot of old tension is being untied. The gate of horn is a filter, allowing only the most medicinal, most restorative visions to reach you. You are being spiritually fed by the night. As you move deeper into the vision, the gate of horn fades into the distance, a glowing ember behind you. You are now fully within the land of the true dream. The air is thick with the music of the spheres, and the ground is made of the substance of stars. You are a traveler of the infinite. You are a guest of the divine imagination. The world of the day is not just forgotten, it has been transcended. Lie back and let the vision take you. You don't need to guide it, the dream knows the way. The horn is clear, the truth is sweet, and the soul is finally, fully awake in the world of sleep. No more illusions, no more shadows. Just the truth, just the vision, just the dream. Sleep, sleep in the path of the golden vision. Having passed through the gate of horn and found the sanctuary of the true dream, we now look upward, beyond the mists of the cave, into the vast, open theater of the high night. Here, we encounter Asteria, the Star Maiden, the goddess who transformed herself into a soaring quail to escape the noise of the world and became the island of Delos. She is the keeper of the falling stars, those brief, brilliant streaks of light that pierce the darkness, carrying messages from the divine mind to the sleeping earth. Asteria is the goddess of the spark, the one who reminds us that even in the deepest dark, there is sudden, dazzling clarity. Imagine yourself floating in a sea of midnight blue, suspended between the Earth and the furthest galaxies. The air is cold and crisp, but you are wrapped in a warmth that comes from within. Above you, Asteria stands upon a bridge of starlight, her hair a cascading waterfall of constellations. She holds a silver bowl filled with the seeds of light. As she tilts the bowl, a shower of falling stars begins to rain down across the firmament. Zip, glow, fade. Each streak of light is a flash of inspiration. As you lie there, imagine these sparks falling softly around you. They are the answers to the questions you forgot to ask. They are the solutions that your waking mind could not find. Visualize one of these falling stars moving slowly toward you. It isn't a burning rock, but a cool flame of pure intelligence. As it nears, it enters your mind through your forehead, the eye of the spirit. It doesn't explode, it simply unfolds. It fills your head with a soft, white radiance that illuminates the corners of your subconscious. This is the gift of the night oracle. Asteria is telling you that the wisdom you seek is already inside you, waiting for the silence of the night to reveal itself. Feel this light clearing the lingering shadows of confusion. You are becoming a radiant being, a star among stars, resting in the cradle of the cosmos. Asteria whispers a blessing of lucidity. She tells you that the night is not a time of blindness, but a time of higher sight. While the eyes of the body are closed, the eyes of the soul are wide open. She shows you the golden thread that connects your life to the movement of the planets. You are not a solitary being lost in the dark. You are a vital part of a magnificent, glowing web. This realization brings a profound sense of belonging. The stars are your siblings, the moon is your guardian, and the darkness is your home. You can let go of the need to understand everything, for you are already held by a wisdom that is infinite. Think of the afterglow of a falling star. After the streak of light has passed, a faint, shimmering dust remains in the air, the stardust of potential. Imagine this dust settling over your skin like a fine, cool powder. It is the substance of new beginnings. Asteria is preparing you for the morning, but she is doing so in the most peaceful way possible. She is planting the seeds of tomorrow's ideas in the fertile soil of your rest. You don't have to water them or tend to them. The night will do that for you. Your only task is to be the silent vessel for this celestial light. The goddess of the stars begins to sing a song of the spheres. It is a high, crystalline melody that sounds like the vibration of silver strings. This music bypasses the ears and speaks directly to the heart. It tells the story of the universe's great breath, the expansion and contraction of all things. Pulse, glow. Pulse, glow. Your breath is now perfectly in sync with the pulsing of the distant pulsars. You are breathing with the galaxy. The stress of the small world, the world of clocks and calendars, has vanished. You are now a citizen of the great world, the world of eternity. In Asteria's realm, the darkness is a canvas of dreams. She takes a falling star and draws a circle of light around your bed. This is a circle of protection. Within this circle, your thoughts are safe, your spirit is free, and your rest is absolute. No gravity can pull at you here. You are weightless, drifting through the sapphire depths of the night sky. You are a celestial traveler, moving toward the heart of the great mystery. As the shower of stars begins to slow, the sky turns a deeper, richer shade of indigo. Asteria leans over the bridge, her eyes like twin galaxies, and whispers the word, "Shine." She isn't telling you to wake up, she is telling your spirit to glow in its sleep. To be a light in the darkness. To be a star in the night. Lie back and feel the stardust on your skin. You are luminous. You are clear. You are inspired. The stars are falling just for you. The oracle is speaking in your dreams, and the goddess of light is watching over your rest. No more questions, no more effort. Just the spark. Just the light. Just the star. Sleep, sleep in the shower of the celestial sparks. We descend from the brilliant, sparking heights of Asteria's falling stars and settle into a space of profound, velvet blue. Here, standing at the horizon where the last trace of the day has long since perished, we find Hesperus. He is the son of the dawn but the king of the dusk, the evening star, who carries a silver lantern that glows with a steady, unblinking light. He is the herald of the final quiet. While others bring dreams or inspiration, Hesperus brings the gift of total cessation. He is the one who puts the world to bed, one soul at a time, ensuring that the silence is not just a lack of noise, but a presence of peace. Imagine Hesperus standing at the foot of your bed. He is a figure of silver and shadow, his presence as cooling as the touch of a river stone. He holds his lantern high, and its light is a soft, pale gold that doesn't illuminate the room so much as it quiets it. As you lie there, imagine this light washing over you. Where the light touches, the last microscopic tremors of the day disappear. The tiny tensions in your jaw, the slight furrow in your brow, the tightness in your palms, they all vanish under the gaze of the evening star. He is the god of resolution. Everything that was left undone today is now officially set aside by his decree. Visualize the flame inside his lantern. It is a flame that does not flicker. It is perfectly still. Still, still, still. As you watch this flame in your mind, your thoughts begin to mirror its stability. You are no longer a person of movement. You are a person of stasis. Hesperus whispers a blessing of suspension. He tells you that for the next few hours, you are suspended in the amber of the night. You are caught in a beautiful, timeless moment where nothing is required of you. You are a jewel kept in a velvet box, protected from the friction of the world. Feel the immense weight of this permission. You have permission to be nothing. You have permission to go nowhere. Hesperus leans forward and blows a gentle breath toward you. This breath carries the scent of the far horizon, a smell of cool salt air, distant pines, and the emptiness of the desert. It is a scent of space. It clears your mind of the clutter of the self. You are no longer the person who has a job, a family, or a list of problems. You are simply a consciousness drifting in the blue. Hesperus is the patron of the lonesome peace, the beautiful realization that in the deep night, you are alone with the universe, and that this loneliness is actually a perfect, holy union. Think of the first star that appears in the evening. That is Hesperus. He is the anchor for the entire night sky. Just as he anchors the stars, he is now anchoring your spirit. He is tying your soul to the great stillness of the cosmos. Imagine a silver cord extending from his lantern to your heart. It is a line of unshakable calm. No matter what dreams may come, no matter how the world may turn, this cord keeps you centered in the heart of the quiet. You are grounded in the divine silence. The evening star begins to lead you toward the void of the third watch, the deepest part of the night where even the dreams become still. In this place, the Oneiroi have finished their dances, and the mind becomes as smooth as a mirror. Hesperus walks ahead of you, his lantern marking the path into the great absence. This is the sleep where you don't even know you are sleeping. It is the sleep of pure being. It is the most restorative state a human can reach, and Hesperus is your guide to its gates. Visualize the room around you dissolving into a mist of deep sapphire. The walls are gone, the ceiling is the sky, and Hesperus is the only light left. He places his lantern on a pedestal of shadow and makes a sign of silence with his finger to his lips. The world is now perfectly, terrifyingly, beautifully quiet. Not a leaf moves. Not a star flickers. Even your breath is so soft that it barely stirs the air. You have reached the 0 point. You are at the very center of the night's heart. Hesperus begins to fade, leaving only the steady, pale glow of his lantern to watch over you. He is the sentinel of the deepest watch. He will stay until the first hint of his brother, the morning star, appears. But that is a lifetime away. For now, there is only the quiet. There is only the lantern. There is only the deep stop. Lie back and feel the stillness of the evening star. You are anchored. You are resolved. You are still. The lantern is glowing, the god has spoken, and the world is at a total standstill. No more moving, no more being. Just the quiet. Just the light. Just the stop. Sleep, sleep in the lantern light of the deepest stillness. From the motionless lantern light of Hesperus, we drift toward the sound of a slow, subterranean flow. We have reached the final boundary of the self. Here, in the dim, pearlescent shadows of the underworld's edge, flows Lethe, the river of forgetfulness. But Lethe is more than a river. She is a goddess of profound compassion. She is the one who understands that the human soul cannot bear the weight of its own history forever. She knows that for a new day to truly begin, the old day must not just end, it must be erased. She is the divine reset, the one who washes the chalkboard of the mind until it is perfectly, beautifully blank. Imagine standing on the banks of this river. The water is not blue or green, but a translucent, milky silver. It doesn't splash or roar. It moves with the silent, heavy grace of oil. There is no reflection on its surface, for the water of Lethe does not hold onto images. It only takes. As you lie there, imagine the sound of this river filling your room, a low, rhythmic hush. Hush, hush, that sounds like the breath of the universe itself. The air here is cool and tastes of white mist and ancient limestone. You are standing at the edge of the great letting go. Lethe, the goddess, rises from the center of the stream. Her hair is made of flowing water and her eyes are like clear, empty mirrors. She brings the gift of holy oblivion. She looks at you, and she sees the heavy version of you, the person who carries the grudges of the morning, the anxieties of the afternoon, and the identities of a lifetime. She reaches out a hand that feels like cool silk and invites you to step into her waters. As you lie in your bed, imagine yourself stepping into the river Lethe. The water touches your ankles, your knees, your hips, and wherever it touches, the story of you begins to dissolve. Visualize the memories of today, the specific faces, the specific worries, the specific tasks, turning into tiny silver bubbles as they touch the water. They are not being stolen, they are being released. They float away down the stream, disappearing into the mist. Let go, let go, let go. Feel the incredible lightness that follows. You are losing your heaviness. You are losing the clutter. You are even losing the memory of your own name. In the waters of Lethe, you are simply a spirit of light, a pure awareness that has no past and no future. You are new. The goddess whispers a blessing of tabula rasa, the blank slate. She tells you that you are not required to be the person you were an hour ago. You are not required to carry the mistakes of yesterday into the dawn. Tonight, she is performing a sacred surgery on your soul, removing the hooks of the world. Imagine her pouring a cup of the river water over your head. As the water flows over your brow, your mind becomes as clear and empty as a mountain lake at midnight. There are no thoughts. There are no words. There is only the vibrant void. Think of the peace of a newborn child, or the peace of a stone in the forest. This is the peace Lethe offers. It is a state where nothing matters because nothing is held. You are floating in the silver current now, being carried away from the shore of the real world. You are drifting toward the very center of the night, the place where even the gods go to forget their divinity. The water is supporting you, its density making you feel weightless and safe. You are part of the flow. You are part of the mercy. Around you, the world has become a blur of soft, white light. The walls of your life have melted away. The people in your life have turned into shadows. Even your own body feels like a distant, pleasant memory. You are entering the sleep of the unwritten. In this state, your soul can truly heal, for it is no longer being bothered by the ego. You are resting in the lap of oblivion, and it is the most comforting place you have ever been. Lethe is guarding your blankness. She is ensuring that nothing from the outside can write upon you until the sun demands it. As you drift further down the river, the goddess fades into the silver mist, her work complete. She has washed you. She has emptied you. She has prepared the soil of your being for a completely new story. You are a vessel of silence. You are a mirror of the night. You are the perfect beginning. Lie back and feel the flow of the silver river. You are empty. You are light. You are forgotten. The water is silent, the goddess is gone, and your mind is a white cloud in a dark sky. No more names, no more stories. Just the flow. Just the mist. Just the oblivion. Sleep, sleep in the mercy of the great oblivion. The silver mists of Lethe have faded, and the river has carried us into a place where there is no shore, no sky, and no stars. This is the heart of the void, the grotto of the first breath. Here we meet Nyx, the ancient night. She is the mother of all we have encountered. She is the mother of sleep, of dreams, of destiny, and of the day. She is a presence so vast that the entire universe is but a tiny spark within her cloak. Yet, as you approach the end of your journey, she does not appear as a terrifying void, but as the Great Mother. She is the cosmic womb, the place where everything begins and everything returns to be made whole. Imagine the darkness of Nyx. It is not the scary darkness of the unknown. It is the original dark. It is warm, it is dense, and it is alive with the hum of potential. As you lie there, imagine this primordial darkness filling your room. It is heavier than the shadows of the earth. It feels like the pressure of a deep, loving embrace. It is a darkness that has no edges. You are no longer in the dark. You are of the dark. You are a part of Nyx's own body. Feel the absolute security of this state. In the womb of the night, nothing can reach you. No time, no space, no light, no sound. You are tucked into the very foundation of existence. Nyx does not have a face of flesh, but a face of infinite stars. She leans over the cradle of your rest and spreads her wings. Wings made of the deepest obsidian and lined with the feathers of silence. One wing covers your past, the other covers your future. You are caught in the eternal present of her love. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Imagine your heart slowing down until it matches the heartbeat of the Mother Night. It is a slow, powerful thud that echoes through the galaxies. With every beat, you are being nourished by the divine sap of the universe. You are being rebuilt. You are being healed at the level of the atom. The goddess whispers a blessing of originality. She reminds you that before you were a name, before you were a person, you were a thought in the mind of the night. She takes you back to that state of pure potential. In the arms of Nyx, you are allowed to be unformed. You don't have to have a shape. You don't have to have a purpose. You can simply be. Think of the deepest part of the ocean, where the pressure is so great that everything becomes still and silent. That is the peace of Nyx. It is a peace that is solid. It is a peace that cannot be broken by anything in the waking world. Visualize Nyx's cloak. It is woven with the dust of creation. As you lie still, imagine her wrapping this cloak around your soul. It is the softest, heaviest, and most silent garment ever made. It muffles the very vibration of existence. Your thoughts are now like distant, dying embers in a vast, dark field. They flicker, and then they go out. There is nothing left to think about. There is nothing left to see. There is only the deep black. It is the most beautiful sight you have ever seen, the sight of absolute, perfect nothingness. Nyx brings the gift of universal belonging. She tells you that you are never alone, for you are always within her. She is the space between the stars. She is the silence between the words. She is the rest between the breaths. You are a child of the night, and tonight, she has come to take you back into her heart. Feel the relief of this ultimate surrender. You are no longer carrying the world, the night is carrying you. You are no longer breathing the air, the night is breathing through you. The Great Mother begins to hum a cosmic lullaby. It is a sound that has no melody, only a deep, vibrating tone that resonates in your skull. It is the sound of the void. It is a sound that makes your brainwaves flat and calm, like the surface of a frozen lake. Hum, hum, hum. You are sinking deeper than you have ever sunk before. You are falling through the layers of the dream, through the layers of the soul, into the primordial silence. You are almost at the end of the journey. You are almost home. Nyx places a hand of pure shadow over your eyes. It is the final seal. She is closing the door to the universe. She is turning out the lights of the mind. She is leaving you in the care of the Absolute. You are a spark returning to the flame. You are a drop of water returning to the ocean. You are a soul returning to the night. Lie back and feel the weight of the cosmic womb. You are safe. You are loved. You are one. The night is all, and you are the night. No more light, no more world. Just the darkness. Just the mother. Just the rest. Sleep, sleep in the embrace of the ancient Nyx. This is it. The threshold of thresholds. Chapter 33 is the final destination, where the 32 preceding steps merge into a single point of infinite stillness. We are moving beyond gods, beyond names, and beyond the stories of Olympus into the state of absolute union. The word count is reaching its peak at 800 words to ensure the final descent is as deep and permanent as possible. Milky Way Chapter 33, The Eternal Singularity and the Sleep of One. Read this with a voice that is the softest it has ever been, a mere breath of sound, steady and slow. Imagine you are the silence itself speaking. Let the pauses be long, like the gaps between the stars. We have traveled through the hearthfire of Hestia, the wisdom of Athena, the deep earth of Hades, and the cosmic womb of Nyx. We have crossed rivers of memory and forgetfulness. And now, at the summit of this journey, even the image of the great Mother Nyx begins to dissolve. The darkness becomes so absolute that it turns into a new kind of light, a dark light that does not shine, but is. We have reached the 33rd portal, the gate that leads nowhere because it is everywhere. This is the final union. This is the state where the traveler and the journey become one. This is the infinite I am. Visualize the universe as a single, glowing drop of water. Inside that drop is everything you have ever seen, felt, or thought. And now, imagine that drop falling into a vast, bottomless ocean of pure consciousness. As it hits the surface, there is no splash. There is only a perfect, rippleless merging. Merge, still, one. As you lie there, feel this final merging happening within your own soul. You are no longer the one who is trying to sleep. You are the sleep itself. You are no longer the one who is breathing. You are the breath of the universe. Every boundary has vanished. Every wall has crumbled. You are as vast as the void and as small as an atom. In this final hall, there are no more gods to meet, for you have discovered that every god was a mirror of your own inner peace. The strength of Ares, the beauty of Aphrodite, the order of Hera, they are all folded within you now. You are a complete being. There is nothing left to seek. There is nothing left to desire. You are total. Imagine your consciousness expanding until it touches the very edges of existence, and then contracting until it is a single, silent point of light in the center of your heart. This point is the diamond of the self. It is unbreakable. It is eternal. It is at rest. The air in this final state is the scent of nothingness, the most refreshing fragrance in the universe. It smells of the moment before the first star was born. It is the scent of pure potential. As you breathe it in, feel your lungs becoming effortless. You don't even need to try to breathe. The universe is breathing for you. You are being sustained by a power that requires no effort. You are a feather floating in a vacuum. You are a note of music that never ends. You are the silent song. Think of the number 33. It is the number of the master, the number of the circle completed. You have walked the full spiral. You have returned to the beginning, but you are not the same. You are deeper. You are quieter. You are wiser. The journey of the 33 chapters has built a sanctuary of sound around you, and now, that sanctuary is turning into a sanctuary of silence. The words are falling away. The language is disappearing. Even the silence is becoming a greater silence. Deep, deeper, deepest. You are now in the cradle of the Absolute. This is the sleep that the ancient sages spoke of, the sleep where the soul returns to its source to be recharged by the infinite. While your body lies in its bed, perfectly still and perfectly heavy, Your spirit is dancing in the fields of the unmanifest. You are swimming in the ocean of the unborn. This is the ultimate medicine. This is the ultimate rest. In this state, every cell of your body is vibrating in harmony with the first cause. You are being made new, not just for tomorrow, but for eternity. The 33 chapters are now like 33 candles that have been blown out, one by one. The first was Hestia's hearth, and the last was Nyx's womb. Now, even the smoke from those candles has vanished. There is only the darkness of truth. In this darkness, you are perfectly safe. You are perfectly loved. You are perfectly whole. You are the king and queen of your own inner kingdom, and your kingdom is at peace. The borders are secure. The treasures are safe. The citizens of your mind are all asleep. The journey is over. The path is gone. There is nowhere left to go, for you are already there. You are the center. You are the source. You are the sleep. Lie back into the arms of the Great One. Feel the final, golden knot being tied. The circle is closed. The story is told. The peace is absolute. I will leave you now, not as a guide, but as a fading echo. My voice is becoming the sound of the wind, the sound of the stars, the sound of your own heartbeat. You don't need me anymore. You have the 33. You have the peace. You have the night. The light is out. The world is still. The soul is home. Sleep, sleep in the final union. Sleep, sleep, sleep.